What's up, guys? Regiment in this podcast is brought to you by G Fuel, the ultimate energy drink for gamers. G Fuel uses a special blend of vitamins, antioxidants, and other natural caffeine resources to keep you from having those jitters or even that crash that you normally would have from other energy drink brands. So whether you're having a long gaming session or you're just having a long day and need a pick-me-up, G Fuel definitely has you covered. G Fuel also has a wide array of flavors to choose from. But if you don't know what flavor you want to try, they also sell variety packs on their website, and they even come with a cool shaker. So head on over to gfuel.com and use promo code REGIMENT at checkout to get up to 30% off. That is REGIMENT, promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout to get up to 30% off.
That reminds me, there was a test done not too long ago. It was like some AI thing against like a squad of Marines, and the Marines ended up finding out if they just put themselves in cardboard boxes, they could maneuver and destroy whatever that piece of machinery, whatever it was. I can't remember what exactly it was.
Was that because it couldn't recognize it as a person?
Exactly. It couldn't recognize it as a person, so it couldn't do anything. It didn't think it was in any threat until it was too late.
That might be the smartest shit I've ever heard a Marine do.
Only a Marine is gonna be like, bro, let's just put ourselves in cardboard boxes. Nobody else is fucking thinking of that except the goddamn Marine.
You know, that guy that came up with the idea was like, Solid Snake did it in Metal Gear. I wonder if it works.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
It has to be something like that. All right, we're back for another episode of the Smoke Pit, and we're joined with our first guest, Blake, also known as OutofRegs. If you've seen him on TikTok, which you probably won't anymore because he got banned for some reason, but you're officially our first Smoke Pit guest. How does that feel?
Look at you.
Pressure's on. Good. There's a lot of pressure. I'm like nervous now.
No pressure. We're going to ask you all your personal information, your social security number, what's your dark secrets.
I'll ease it in. Don't worry.
But first, to get started, a little bit about you. What branch were you in?
I was Marine Corps.
Why did I think you were Army?
Because what?
He
gives off crane eater vibes like a motherfucker.
I honestly thought he was in the Army. Don't ask me why.
How dare you disrespect him like that?
We can always call him a soldier, like they did to Chris that one time on what was it, Twitter or something? Oh no, he said. So our CEO for Regiment is a Marine. Well, was a Marine, and
always a Marine.
Yeah, okay. But he was a Marine, first to fight. He's loyal. And someone called him a soldier. Oh, it was a fucking Bumble chick that he matched with. Oh, I've always wanted, something like, I always find a soldier attractive. And he's like, I've never blocked someone so fast in my life. Marines hate being called soldiers, and I'll never understand why.
Yeah, because it's like a lesser version.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be like calling somebody in the Army a sailor or something. Right?
Probably.
Yeah,
it's just not the right term,
No, you're
yeah,
right.
We drink for a living in other places, and some of it is semen. Like,
you guys do a lot of other things too, because
we don't hire him, man. That's for sure.
Honestly, but you set your ships on fire. Did you not?
Yeah, that's because we're tired as fuck and we're being overworked.
There was that one article I saw not long ago where there was a sailor was charged for arson recently. Did you see this?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
And then there's that other one that they couldn't find. They thought he fell overboard. He was hiding in the boiler room.
That was Mimsy. I remember that one. That guy actually had a lot of mental issues that were going on, and that was the reasoning behind
Mimsy.
That.
What is that? Is that the ship or is that the guy's name?
No, that was the guy's name.
Oh, you say this like you knew him.
No, because it was literally like a meme because it was going on for so long, and I was on deployment during that time, so we had nothing else to talk about. Yeah. It was hilarious, but it came out to be that because he was like living in his own shit,
literally.
Yeah, like in the bowels of the ship, like underneath where you're not supposed to be able to get to.
You have to really go out of your way to fucking go down there, I guess.
Yeah.
So
like the outs of that story were really interesting. It turned out to be like, oh, he was actually pretty fucked up.
And yeah, I mean the mental health on the ships right now is probably bad. I mean, you just not long ago got sent off for
one of the ships had a death, and it's a lot of people.
I didn't know it was that. I thought it was
thinking it was a suicide. It's not ruled a suicide right now, but almost everyone's like it was a suicide.
So Blake, in the Marine Corps, what did you do?
I was an 0311 rifleman.
I
I got to run around and act like a combat guy for 4 years.
Fuck yeah. Where were you stationed?
At Camp Lejeune.
Camp Lejeune?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, dude.
Good.
I was in the Army. I did Army 8 years. I was overseas in Italy with the 173rd Airborne for 4 years. And then my dumb ass got out and went in the National Guard because that was, good idea. The good idea ferry really, when I got out for almost a year and was like, I kind of miss it. And then I went back in. And then as soon as I went back in, I absolutely regretted it. It was not a good idea. I was like, what the fuck did I do this for?
So, why should we know who you are?
Well, the worst part was...
Why should you know who I am?
Yeah, why?
Deep question.
Yeah,
why I should know who I am.
Why should we know you?
Well, I don't know how we'll know who you are anymore because you're not on TikTok.
Well, you did blow up on TikTok, man. And I am very mad at TikTok for getting rid of you because I
upset.
Thoroughly enjoyed watching your shit posts about military life because it was just like all the relatable bullshit that we all have experienced.
So many saved videos are just gonna show not available anymore.
I know, which fucking sucks. And they never gave you a reason?
No, I never got a reason. I just dude, I was sitting here and I was scrolling through just like on my For You page, and then I just have a notification. Your account has been permanently banned for too many community guidelines violations. And I was like, what? And I had it happen before, like a few months ago. I was live playing like the first Call of Duty, right? And they banned my live, and then like 5 minutes later banned my account. And I was like, what the hell? But they let me appeal it. And then 15 minutes after the appeal, they gave me my account back, and they're like, hey, sorry, like, our bad. And that's how it had been with every single one of my live bans. Every single one of my videos that got taken down, they were all like, hey, sorry, like, that's our bad. You didn't do anything wrong. And then this one was a permaban, and there was no way to appeal it other than, like, hitting up TikTok through, like, they've got some forum or whatever you can go into and tell them what your account was and tell them your problem. And they were like, yeah, we'll send you an email with a decision. I've never received an email, nothing.
How long has that been?
About 3 weeks now? Coming on a month here soon, I think.
Damn.
So it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, man, that's kind of messed up.
Why'd you show your butthole on stream?
See, I didn't. I actually did get a live taken down for adult nudity playing, I think I was playing Modern Warfare 2, like Warzone or something like that. And I'm just sitting there, and then I look over at my other monitor, and it's like, you've been banned for adult nudity. And I was like, how is this even possible? Like, what? Where?
I don't know.
Did you flash a titty?
It seems like TikTok just throws these bans out and gives you a reason that doesn't make any sense, and almost like you can't do shit about it.
So all the ones that I had got up to that one, up to the adult nudity one, kind of made sense because I'm a shit talker when I'm playing with my friends, right? And it would always be like for harassment and bullying. And I'm like, okay. Or like the Call of Duty one where they banned my account was harassment and bullying. Well, I remember it specifically what happened. In the game, we were like breaching a door or whatever, and one of the AIs on my side stood in front of the door as the C4 went off, and he got blown back to the other side of the room, and I started laughing at him. I was like calling him a jackass or whatever, and they took it down. And I was like, what? It's not even a real person. I'm not even talking to anyone. I'm talking to a computer here. Fuck. So,
where do you play these games? Where do you stream?
Twitch. So I'm on Twitch right now. OutofRegs Gaming.
We'll definitely put your link in the bio.
Why is your why was your TikTok different than like your streaming?
What do you mean?
Because your TikTok was like OutofRegsTV, right?
Yeah, so it's different because for streaming I wanted it to be strictly gaming kind of deal. So that's kind of what I wanted to lean into there. So it was kind of like in my mind, it was kind of like a branch off like TV, like me, all that kind of stuff, making skits. And then this other one just for gaming and stuff. So people can kind of know like what they're getting into, but it's like me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Did you change all of your stuff? So like, what's your YouTube then?
So my YouTube is also OutofRegs Gaming. I had an OutofRegsTV YouTube, but I don't really upload to that much anymore. Just because I don't know, I leaned more into the gaming side. I like making gaming content more for like long form content.
You can definitely do that on YouTube though.
That one. Yeah, and I have been. I've been trying to focus more on it now that I don't have the TikTok.
Shorts are the way to go.
Sounds like shorts are the way to go.
Yeah, it's more clips from the streams and stuff like that. Is usually what gets put on the shorts.
I'm a forever miss the barracks one, the first one I ever saw of yours.
Yeah. I'll have to go through my camera feed. I think it's gone, but
so sad.
I'll have to go through my camera feed and see if I can find it.
See,
I've got a bunch of my old TikToks saved.
All my shit gets put on a folder in my PC because I edit on my PC, so all my shit gets stored in a folder. So in case shit like this were to happen to me, not saying that I post enough to where it matters, but just in case one of them does go viral, and then TikTok just smacks me in the pee and takes my channel down. It's like, well, guess what? I guess I'm going somewhere else, and I have all this shit here for it.
Well, that's something to know too. So I thought when the ban first happened.
Is your roommate vacuuming now?
No, he just got back from the gym.
Is it the time to vacuum?
It's a protein blender.
he's making a protein shake. But no, so when I got permabanned, they gave me the only thing that I could do on my account is go in and request my files, right? So I was like, oh, okay, cool. They're gonna send me like a file with all my content on it, and I went back and then like read like more of the description about it, and they were like, oh yeah, so we did send it to you, but you only have like 3 or 4 days to like get it, so you have to really monitor it, and they take their sweet time anyway. But they're just like, oh yeah, here we'll send you your name, your phone number, your email address, all that information. I'm like, I already have all that information.
We're gonna send you info that you already know.
We're gonna send you your information.
We're gonna send you your information. Like, what? How does that help me? So
I know my phone number and email. What are you talking about?
In case you forgot who you are, your name is Blake, and you're also OutofRegs Gaming, and here's your phone number. Like, oh, cool, thanks.
Cool thing is I got recognized at the bar like Monday.
Oh, look at you.
I was out at the bar, and this dude shooting pool. He's like, hey man, I got a question. I was like, what's up, brother? He's like, this is gonna be really weird, but I feel like I know you from somewhere. And I was like, TikTok, and he's like, you're OutofRegs. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, cool. I've been following for a while. I was like, probably not anymore. My shit got banned. And he was like, what?
What was it like for you going to your first hike and getting recognized for IW?
Oh, dude, that was wild. Honestly, that was interesting. It was in Savannah. So like my first hike I went to was Jacksonville Beach, and that was before everything like popped off for me. And then a few months later, went to the Savannah one, and I get there, and we're there to get some drinks and stuff at the like before night, the meetup night.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude's like, hey, you look really familiar. And I was like, were you at the Jacksonville hike last year? He's like, no, I think I know you from TikTok. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And it was funny because he said it, and then someone else like turned around, and they're like, oh, you are that guy. I was trying to figure out who you were. And I was like, huh, this is wild.
This past year was probably, or the past one that you went to was probably even crazier because you've done so much more since then.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your inspiration to start doing all that shit?
So I've always wanted to make content, like ever since I was in like middle school, right? So I tried to make make gaming videos in middle school. I would post my iPod up on this like dinner tray, right? Like the fold out TV tray, and stack a bunch of textbooks and like lean it in front of my TV because I obviously, I don't have a capture card or none of that stuff. And I would post videos like that. And then I finally like convinced my parents like that Christmas to get me a capture card and everything like that. And I started doing that and getting into editing and all this stuff.
How old are you again?
26.
Okay.
Just a capture card. Like what are you, like 20?
Started doing all that stuff, and then it just kind of fell off as I, got in high school and everything like that. And then joined the Marine Corps. And then last year and a half in the Marines, I was like, hey guys, I started listening to a bunch of like podcasts and stuff. I was like, hey guys, let's start one. And we're like, let's call it OutofRegs. Okay, cool. So it would be me and like 5-6 other dudes in my room. We'd have to turn the AC off, like open up the ceiling panel to turn off the AC unit because the microphone I had picked up every little piece of noise. So like if you had it on, it was just... And
only a certain amount of people know how to turn that shit off too.
And we're in Camp Lejeune, and it's like middle of July. It's 100 degrees. Bugs are flying in the room. We're sitting there with our shirts off, getting wasted, just telling the most incoherent stories you've ever heard in your life. And then
It's kind of like how this
obviously fell
podcast
off,
is. We just have our shirts on.
Yeah.
It's a good time,
Dude.
But yeah, and then got back and got out. And actually, my roommate now, we were in the same company.
The one that was vacuuming?
Yeah. We were in the same company, and we did the podcast episodes together once in a while. And I was like, hey, let's start making YouTube videos. Okay, cool. And then TikTok started getting big, and I was like, I'm not doing TikTok. I can't
I thought
do
the
it.
same
No,
shit.
like, absolutely not. And someone talked me into it. They were like, dude, if you want to make it in any kind of way, you have to go on TikTok. It's where everybody grows the fastest. And I was like, all right, fine. So I started posting like Star Wars skits and just dumb skits, right? And then it just was like drinking stuff. And then just one day I posted something random about the military, and that one did well. And then I just kept going. I think it was about like transitioning and getting your first civilian job. And that's where all like the military related stuff started. And from there, it just kind of kept going.
All fucking relatable shit, because anybody that's gotten out knows exactly what that feels like, myself included. It was so fucking weird getting out, and then going to school was also the other weird thing. Like, I go to school, and I got out in 2016, and by that point, I'm pushing 30. So,
fuck, you got out when I got in.
Yeah.
Let's not do this. Like, we don't need this right now. All right.
No, we can do this.
Yeah.
You're old as fuck.
God damn it.
I'm about to be 35. So yeah, like I got out in 2016. So I was like 28 years old, and I went to school for pipe fitting. So I went to welding school. I used my GI Bill for it. And it was very interesting. I mean, it was the only part that kind of made the transition a little easier, is because getting out of the military and jumping into the trades was kind of almost the same culture, but different. Like, everybody there kind of has the same attitude as, we did in the military. So it was like not that crazy of a transition. But the only thing that was like the biggest disconnect was you have a lot of people that are there that don't understand the shit you went through, and they bitch at you. So like, one of the reasons I got laid off, because they said, you don't move very fast. I'm like, because I physically can't move fast, dude. So I got arthritis in my spine, my knees, and they're like, you're like 30 years old. I'm like, yeah, I was a paratrooper for my whole career. I'm fucked up, man. Like, what the fuck? So, but then you have like the school culture, which is weird. Now, you have a lot of these young kids that are coming right out of high school. And I mean, what are you studying right now?
Communications and media.
So I'm studying right now. I'm in IT. So which is another stark difference from what I used to do. And the people that are in that class, I mean, they're cool because they're nerdy like us. But on the other hand, it's just like they have a different mentality. Like, people that have never joined have a different mentality than when you get out. And that was like a very big, that was a very tough transition for me. It was that, like, these kids are trying to relate to you because they're like, I've always wanted to do that and stuff. And I'm like, it's really, it's not really glorious or anything. And it wasn't like anything it wasn't like Chris Kyle or something. And I never like try to perceive that or anything. It's just, they always think that like, oh, you were in the military? Oh man, what's that shit? And those kids are like, I play Call of Duty too.
In the movies.
All they've ever seen the movies or played video games. And it's just, and
then
then
you got Call of Duty.
And then school culture itself is like, you got to clean it up a bit. Because it's like you're so used to a lifestyle, and then you come to a different lifestyle, and it's just very toned down from what you're used to. And you got to be mindful of what you say. You got to be mindful of what you do. So you just end up kind of keeping to yourself for the most part. So yeah, that was kind of a weird transition in the work life.
I remember when I got out too, guys.
Dude, just shut the fuck up. And then the work life is also the other disconnect, because it's like you have these people that have never done anything else but whatever the job is that you're working at right at the time, and they've been there for like 5-6 years, sometimes more. And you're just there to like kind of pay the bills, and you show up to work and stuff, and you got a different work ethic than most people do. I remember my first job, I got. On my first review, they gave me a negative point because I was showing up to work 15 to 30 minutes early and would sit in the parking lot and then come into the building 10 minutes early. And then they, during my review, they're like, well, we noticed that you show up like really early and you just kind of sit there. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you just come in and actually start working? I'm like, you going to pay me for that? And I said, no. And I'm like, then I'm not doing that. And then they're just like, well, we would like it if you were going to come in early that you do something. I'm like, I guess I'm not coming. If you're going to really bitch at the fact that I'm here before, like early, instead of
for
being
my
late,
shift on time.
you're not going to bitch at me for being late. You're going to bitch at me for being too early. Then I guess I'm just going to start walking in when the fucking clock starts because hell no.
I'll be late
That's
next
crazy.
time. Shit.
And they're like, maybe it's the
That's
military in you that has you doing that. I'm like, might be, but who gives a shit? Like, I'm still here early.
like, I'm here. I'm clocking in on time. What do you have to complain about?
And it's not even that. I'm coming in early and I'm starting my day, and then these guys are bitching that I'm too early, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what the fuck you want from me, man. So it's just there's a big disconnect. And then the other thing that they don't really tell you is the connection that you have with your friends before you join is just dead. It's gone. I mean, it could still be there, but it's not the same. And you come back. I mean, my friends, I love them to death, but they're still doing the same thing they did before I left. And then they're just kind of like, I don't know.
You can't relate to them anymore either.
You can't relate to them anymore. And they're just like, why are you like this? I was like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out why I'm like this.
Let's ask the government.
My two best friends I had in high school are still some of my greatest friends to this day. And I think part of that reason is because they didn't stay static and stay at like the jobs we had in high school. Like they went and moved to a totally other state and started like doing all this other stuff and like chasing dreams and all that stuff. And they also had, they got the sense of humor kind of deal. So like I can say whatever and they're doing it right along with me kind of deal. Everyone's busting each other's balls, so that also helps. But like you bringing up like people staying static, you come back and you don't really want to hang out with the same old because you've changed so much, versus at least for me, having those two friends that went out and they're like, hey, I've got stories of my own to tell you, and it's like, oh, okay, tight. And you can kind of rebond over that kind of stuff. So
versus just stories from down the street.
Yeah, exactly.
I got my friend into the military, so I was like, yeah, no, we're gonna have the same experiences. Come on, let me indoctrinate you. Yeah, I was like, hey, he was trying to join the Air Force and he couldn't because they said he was too fat. So I'm like, the Navy says that you're skinny enough. So come on.
I mean, the Navy, the Navy actually just changed their whole ASVAB requirement to where you only need a 10 to get in now. So
yeah,
are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Doc told me this, and I was like, that can't be true. And I looked it up. And oh my god.
It was like two episodes ago, I think.
Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous. Retention's bad right now, man. Especially because they're doing all kinds of stupid shit. Like the cutting hazard pay. Unless you're in an occupation that requires it, like airborne ops, like you're gonna get jump pay, which is good because that's still considered hazardous duty orders. But for the most part, hazardous duty orders are going away, and COLA is getting reduced. And now you got Congress talking about cutting VA benefits and cutting the disability from people making so much money. And it's like, so there's no benefit for being in and there's no benefit for getting out. Why even?
And there's no retirement for being in longer either.
No.
So there's no incentive to stay for the sake of staying.
No. How many years did you do, Blake?
I just did my 4.
You just
did
did
my
4
for the Corps and left.
4 for the Corps.
4 for the Corps.
That actually makes me think of a TikTok I remember you doing. It was hilarious because you're being reviewed. You're getting your pros and cons. And you're like, you're doing really good. We love what you're doing right now. You're being a stellar Marine. And then they're like, what do you want to do with the rest of your career? Oh, I think I'm getting out. And they're like, you're a fucking piece of shit.
And then I had a first sergeant. He did it as a joke. It was our outbound interviews, right? I was in Japan for mine. So like when we got back, I was like leaving in like 2 months. And he pulls me into his office and he goes, hey, so, you think about getting out? I was like, yeah. He goes, you're a pussy. And I was like, oh, all right. And then he looks at me, he starts laughing and he's like, dude, I don't give a shit. He's like, you did your 4, you did your time. He's like, I did my 4. I got out, became a cop and then came back in. Like, he's like, and then he joked about it. He was like, I'll see you in 4 years.
And that is also a very relatable point because you get out and then you start missing shit. and you start and the things that you miss start overshadowing the things you hated that made you get out in the first place, because that's what I did. Like it was something very small that got me thinking about it again, and that was I got back and I was registering my motorcycle, and I needed to find my title, so I was going through all of my my bins that I brought to find my motorcycle title. And then because I was a Ford observer, so like I dealt with aircraft and artillery and shit. So all my stuff from when we went to Ukraine, the first time that Russia started doing its bullshit, I found all my map stuff and all my targeting data and shit. And I was just like, dude, those are some good times, you know, going over to just some random country. It's like all the fires teams just saying, hey, we're going to break off from the infantry guys. We're going to go to another country and just do training. And then that's all we did was just go off. Like 8 of us would go off, do this training with like another country. And then like, it was probably the best parts because we were detached from the main element to the point where we could do our own thing and we didn't have to do the extra bullshit at the end of the day. So whenever our duty day was done, it was just, all right, let's go to dinner. Let's go out. Let's go to the bar. Let's hang out and like, you know, just deal with like hang out with the locals and shit. And then we would come back the next morning, do like, you know, do some airstrikes, leave for the day at like 2 p.m. and just fuck off for the rest of the day. And it was like that for like a week or two. And then that kind of shit was just like, I missed that. So I joined and then I didn't do any of that.
Being in other countries is without a doubt the best. Like I feel bad for guys that go in and they get put into a non-deployable unit and they just sit in the States for 4 years. And I'm like, oh, dude, that sucks. Like, I feel so bad, you know? Because, like, shit, I think I've been to 8 different countries and trained with, I don't know. Who did I train? I trained with the Italians, the French, the Greeks,
Israelis?
Koreans. No.
There's some fucking badass motherfuckers.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We did the same shit when we were in Italy. We went to Germany, Austria. We trained with the Greeks. We did an airborne operation with the Greeks. I got Greek jump wings. So we also trained the Ukrainians because Russia had taken Crimea, and we were training the Ukrainians and sending them off out east to, you know, go fight the pro-Russian separatists. And then we trained with the Croatians. We trained with the Latvians, the Lithuanians, the Romanians. Most of our training was done was mostly done with the Eastern European countries and the Baltics. But whenever we would have like our joint training, we would have everybody there. We would have JTACs from all the countries. We'd have pararescue guys from all of the countries. Slovenia, that was the one place that the forward observers would go for training, was Slovenia, because all the Baltic JTACs would show up to Slovenia to do like this joint training, and we were training them. And it was just shit like that, where it was like the main infantry element was off doing their own thing, and we could branch off to go do these things. And just, we were going to all these different countries all the time. And that is the part that I do miss, was like all the traveling. That shit was great. And it does suck to see and it sucked for us too, because I got to my unit and the 173rd was the most deployed unit to Afghanistan for pretty much the whole time. And when I got there, that was their last deployment, and they were gone when I got there. So when they were coming back, it was like another 3 months, and then they came back and they said, that was the last one. We're never going back to Afghanistan again. And everyone's like, well, what the fuck are we doing now? And they're like, well, we're doing European contingency. So some guys from Ranger Battalion came and took over the command team for the battalion. And all we did was airfield seizures all the fucking time. Like the morale was at an all-time low because of how high the op tempo was. They were basically training us the way they would in Ranger Bat, but we weren't Ranger Bat. So it was like, this kind of fucking sucks because we can't really do anything. We're just always on go, 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 with no R&R in between, maybe like a month of it. And then we would just be gone for months at a time to other countries and shit. It was just, retention was pretty fucking bad. And I'll never forget, we were in Hohenfels, Germany, and it was 115 degrees for the first 2 weeks of that training. And then it dropped to like 40 degrees and raining for the rest of the training. So we had people that were becoming heat casualties and having to get medevaced because they were having heat stroke. And then we were having a medevac guys because they were going hypothermic in the same training rotation because we weren't prepared for cold weather. We were prepared for hot weather.
Socks.
Yeah, there was no amount of sock changing that was going to keep us dry, bro.
I beg to differ.
And then I'm in the medical tent because I was helping one of the medics, and I was kind of just napping on one of the bunks, and somebody came in. They're like, hey, we're looking for Specialist Higgins. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, what's this? And then it was the retention NCO. Dude came out into the field to try to get me to re-enlist on one of the worst training rotations that we've had. And I was like,
that's crazy.
I was
That's
like,
some dedication right
he's
there.
like, yeah, well, I'm coming back in. Your re-enlistment window is up. Like, are you staying in? I was like, Sergeant, you come in the worst fucking time. Hell no, I'm not re-enlisting. And the same thing kind of happened because Sergeant Major was pissed that I turned down a $12,000 6-year re-enlistment bonus. I'm like,
that money goes fast.
Dude, did not even that.
12,000. That's it.
$12K for a 6-year re-enlistment, and I have to stay here. No, I'm not doing that.
So speaking of enlisting, before we get started on these articles, why did you join and why the Marines?
So, it's funny. So the job I wanted before deciding I was joining the Marine Corps was actually a pastor. And the reason I bring that up is because I started watching on the news. I started seeing like ISIS like killing like reporters and like beheading a bunch of people and all this kind of crazy shit. And I was like, I'm down. Fuck it. Why not? And
pastor
so
sounds like some machine gun preacher vibes there.
I went from wanting to
let's save all these heathens stuff
to like
these
to
guys.
like fuck it. Let's go kill some people. I'm down. And then I went. Next thing I know, I'm in the recruiter office, and my first
go
meeting.
to the recruiters with the Marines? Like you didn't go to anybody else?
I didn't go to anybody else. I was like,
Oh,
I want Marine Corps infantry. I was like, that's what I want. And I remember walking in the first day. The recruiter had never talked to me, and my high school was right next to the recruiting office, so we always saw the recruiters at our school.
That's genius for.
And he had never. Office. Oh, it is. They've got the setup. Anyway, I had never talked to him in my life. I just walk in, and I'm like, hey. He goes, hey, what can I do for you, man? You want to learn about the Marine Corps? I was like, yeah, no, actually, I want to join. And he was like taken aback. He was like, what? And I was like, yeah, no, like, let's do this. Let's go. He's like, what do you want to do? I was like, infantry. He goes, have you taken the ASVAB? I was like, yeah, I did. I did it through the school, and I think I had like a 85 or some shit like that.
Much better than me.
And he was like, he was like, are you sure you want to go infantry? He's like, you can literally do any job you fucking want. And I was like, no, I want infantry. And he tried to talk me into doing something else. And I was like, okay, no, that sounds awesome. But like, what's up with infantry, dude? And he was just like, listen, I'll give it to you right now. But I swear, if you come back into this office in a couple years and you come and try to yell at me and tell me I fucked you, I'm going to kick your ass. And I was like, all right, bet.
I walked into
and that's not uncommon. From someone that has had to deal with shenanigans from grunts, a lot of them get very high ASVAB scores, so they're not stupid. They just do stupid shit very well because they know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
My first choice
Part of it's to fuck with Doc.
Oh, it's always to fuck with Doc.
A lot of my dumb shit was to fuck with Doc.
Absolutely, I fuck with Doc all the time. He's not even my Doc.
I always love seeing a Doc's face go, what are you doing? And it's like, watch this.
Or the
Doc is always corpsman is a happy corpsman.
And Doc is always talking about like, are you sure you wore a condom? Did you wear it the whole time?
Yeah, it's because of them. That's because of the Marines. Every time.
My first choice was actually the Navy, and that was because my grandpa was retired Navy, but he was like, I come to find out my grandpa was like UDT before they were called the SEALs. So I was like, I want to fucking be a SEAL, and the recruiter kind of just laughed in a way, but said, oh yeah, we can totally do that. And then they just kind of ignored me. So then I went to the Marine Corps office and I said, they're like, what brings you in today? I'm like, well, I'm thinking about joining the Marine Corps. And they're like, thinking about? There's no thinking about it. You either want to be a fucking Marine or you don't want to be a fucking Marine. And I was like, I don't want to be a fucking Marine because you and I was just like,
it's the worst sales pitch I've ever heard.
Exactly. I was just like, all right, dude. Okay. And then I went right across the hall to the Army office and they're like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be infantry. And they didn't have any infantry slots, which was the craziest shit ever. Because they told me straight up, they said, infantry's full for the next 8 months. Like, there are no openings for infantry. So I took my ASVAB.
They sent all the idiots.
Oh yeah, because I took my ASVAB and they're like, yeah, you're not going infantry because you have better options and infantry is full right now. I'm like, I want infantry and I want airborne and I want ranger school. And
because the Army is like the first basic one that everyone automatically thinks about. They're also the largest, so they're the ones that everyone's like, go to the Army, and everyone always says they refer to everyone as a fucking soldier if you don't know the military.
right.
So the idiots are in the Army infantry.
So I wanted to go to ranger school and airborne school, and they told me there were no infantry slots, there were no ranger school slots, they told me there was no airborne school slots, so I picked the FO job, which honestly I think is one of the best jobs in the fucking Army because you get to do a lot of cool shit. But I came back in for height and weight, and I watched this one kid sign up that said, congratulations on your infantry slot with ranger option. And I was just like, I looked right at my recruiter, and he's like, hey, just come into my office real quick. And this is like the recruiting NCO I see. And he's like, so that happened right in front of you. And I'm like, yeah, what happened to the whole infantry's full and no ranger slot? And they were like, well, we can't give you infantry and we can't give you ranger because he took the last open one and it's all about timing, but we can give you airborne school. You can go to ranger school later. I was like, okay. So I went to airborne school and yeah, that was a good 4 years of my life. I did
for all of our Army grunts out there, I love you. I just think you're an idiot.
I was about to say, I thought you were going to try and backtrack on it, and I was like, no, he means every word that he just said.
No, I love you. I just think you're an idiot.
Why do you think Army guys are idiots?
No, Army infantry are idiots.
Army infantry are not idiots. Those guys are smarter than you think.
Stupid people join the Army than any other branch. Certainly not the fucking Air Force.
I've seen, listen,
smart people join the Marines. They just do stupid shit. But when smart people do stupid shit, it's never a good thing because they're gonna do it way better than the dumb idiots.
If you would have
a couple people join the Marine, the Navy because you're in close quarters with everybody, and then you're like, bam, dick, right here, fuck it, yeah.
A couple years ago, I would have agreed that the Air Force hires some pretty smart people. But this year has really shown the fact that Air Force people really aren't that fucking smart, especially these Air National Guard dudes leaking OPSEC.
That's not the same. That's National Guard.
But it's still the Air Force. You got to go through the fucking Air Force recruiting.
That's not saying the National Guard is the Army.
They have to go through Army basic and everything. Like the Air Force is picky as fuck, dude. Like they don't just take anybody. They still, and these guys still made it.
Like because saying the reserves are the same as active duty.
I'm not saying that it's the same, but the process for hiring or like bringing them in and recruiting them is the same. So it's like
I don't even think that's true.
Maybe not anymore because retention's so fucking bad and recruiting is so fucking bad that
not for the Air Force.
No, not for the Air Force, but
their numbers are good. They're like, no, we're great. We're not even going to the office today.
We digress. So what games do you play, Blake? What do you like to play besides Call of Duty?
Literally everything. He plays everything.
So Call of Duty, I actually I hate it. It's just most of those stories would just happen while I was playing Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Back when it was good, obviously.
I'm not.
Well, you were super young when it was good, though.
Yeah, I was. Anyway, no, I'm like a variety guy. Right now, I've been playing the new Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
I love horror games. Those are some of my favorite. I love loading up a good one. Like I've heard about really good reviews because I always sit in the menu before you press start game, and I'm like, oh, let's go. I gotta hype myself up to start playing the game.
You ever play any of the VR ones?
I actually just got a VR headset a couple weeks ago, and I'm planning on playing the Blair Witch Project.
Oh yes,
on it.
Oh, when are you streaming that?
That's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Probably after Jedi Survivor. So
you're gonna break something.
I'm really good. I'm really bad at scheduling my games. Usually it's I don't know until about 20 minutes before I go live.
As a mod for his stream, can confirm.
Yeah, it's very random. So. I'm very unpredictable when it comes to what you're going to see that day.
However, if you want to go into his stream and make him touch grass, you can always do that.
So that's false advertising. That's gone. I got rid of that.
Fucking dare you?
You got rid of one of your channel points,
dude. Oh, this is all just lawn grass out from in front of my apartment.
Wait a second. You actually it's real touch grass.
Yeah, no, I go outside, I grab it and bring it back.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, I took that off for the Jedi Survivor because I was like, I just want to play the game. Like, and everyone is very good, especially Doc over here. Whenever I'm like, I can't wait to sit down and enjoy this game. He just comes, he goes, you want to enjoy it? Go get grass. Or back when I had reverse on for free, he would just be like, oh, you're having a hard time there on that level? Cool. Flip your keyboard upside down.
It wasn't free.
Dude, he
It
was
was channel points.
He's
It was channel points.
He's
It's free.
known
He ain't
for
spending
fucking
money.
he'll spam like the fucking when I have sound alerts, what's the one that you spam a lot?
I
He used to
can't
spam
remember.
this
It's been
fucking
so long
shit all the
since
goddamn
streamed.
time. But it was do push-ups, wear the helmet, or take a
Oh,
shot. His 3 top ones. I actually had to disable the shot one because I was getting fucking hammered to some of these streams, and I'm like, I need to cut back on my
Yes, I do
alcohol.
the same thing to him.
Dude.
I had
It's
to cut
bad,
back.
man.
I had to cut
And I
back
get
on
other
alcohol.
people to do it because it's only one. He limited it to 5 because we were getting them fucked up. So each person can only do it 5 times per stream. But I'll get other people to start throwing theirs down at the same time. So he's just chugging drinks.
Who, me or him?
It sucks.
Him.
You used to do the same fucking thing to me.
I know. Now I just do it to Blake.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
That's-
Blake. You've taken the fall
That's
for me turning mine off.
I actually, as more people are starting to do them, like I think I'm gonna have to cut it back to 3, or increase the channel points because like it's starting to get to where like I'll go live and it's like okay, first 10 minutes I'm 3 drinks deep, and I'm like, dude, I just got this 12-pack. Like, come on, man. I want it to last a couple days. Holy shit.
There was
We wait for opportune moments.
one of my birthdays.
We'll wait for he's super into a moment and he can't like just take a drink. He has to like build them up and then he's just chugging the drink.
There's one birthday I had where I had no more whiskey. I just had moonshine. And I'm not talking like Smoky Mountain moonshine. I'm talking my family made this moonshine and my whole family's from Tennessee. So they gave me a
Uncle Ricky
jar
with
of
one
it.
tooth.
Had just my cousin Rabbit down there in fucking good old Arwen, Tennessee. But they kept spamming the shot, and I'm just like, I didn't have a limit at the time, and I was like fucking hammered playing Warzone. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. Or I would do the Warzone push-up challenge, which people would love to spam the push-up. I had to turn the push-ups off for that because so the way that I created this challenge was every death before you go to the gulag was 10 push-ups. And if you didn't make it out of the gulag, it's 20 push-ups.
A lot.
Yeah, I
There's a
know.
lot of push-ups.
And at
he dies a lot, so
Well, I haven't played in a while, but like when I did do this challenge, there was one stream I did where I want to say I did about 900 push-ups at the end of the stream. It was I was like, and my arms were kind of like, were like this the whole fucking time for the next day. Like I hurt so bad. I was like, oh my God. And this was during COVID because the gyms were closed. And that's why I started doing it, because I'm like, I'm getting some massive atrophy here. So I need to fucking get exercising, but I don't want to stop playing games. Let's do something to make it more physically demanding and interesting. So let's do a Warzone push-up challenge. And I fucking regretted that shit so hard.
I need to do something like that. I've had some serious back pain these past couple weeks. Like I have to get off stream after an hour and a half because my back is just so fucked.
well, your
sitting
posture
here.
is horrendous. So
Well, my posture is horrendous. I'm working on it. If you can't tell, I'm sitting up a little bit more straight now. Because like my job I do now, I work from home. So like I just roll out of this bed and I come
whole
sit
time?
here for like 12 hours. I'm like,
Is it
I'm
every day now?
working. Yeah, every day. Like my office I used to work in is closed now. So everyone that worked in that office is working from home now.
It's the same with my
But,
wife. She works from home. She has a treadmill and a standing desk. So she like walks on the treadmill while she's working.
Mhm.
what?
Yeah. She's got this little,
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
it's a small treadmill that's made for under the desk. And it's like it's only made for that. It's like remote operated. So like it sits underneath your desk. It's like maybe like half the length of a normal one and half the width. It's just like it's just wide enough for the belt. And she'll just walk on her treadmill while working at her standing desk.
That would be a hilarious stream.
Oh, I'm sure.
You have to walk the entire time while you're trying to play like Call of Duty or something.
I think there's a guy that I knew. His name is Sweaty Pedals. He'll ride on an exercise bike while playing fucking Call of Duty and Apex.
That's wild.
I know. It's I find it fascinating to see how people get creative with the fitness part and adding it into their streams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like getting it, if you're really like working on like your back posture and stuff, do you have a standing desk?
No, I actually almost dropped like $400 on like a electric one that goes up and down today.
Yeah, that's the one that my wife has, and like try that out for your back, and then try the treadmill thing. If you ever get to the point where you want to get one, check it out.
And don't use a gamer chair; those are fucking horrendous.
I mean, I got a
like
Secret
this?
Lab chair,
Yeah.
man. The Secret Lab chair is fucking. This is like the way better than the other chair that I had.
The only reason that I have my gamer chair still is because I have the purple brand.
It's because you have no other option.
Cushion.
Mm.
Well, no, because I would have bought a new chair a long time ago, but I have a purple. Like, you ever heard of the like purple mattress? Purple
Oh
sheets?
yes.
So they have seat cushions, and it's literally designed for gamers and truckers. And it's the best fucking thing I've ever sat on. Like, my mattress is purple brand. It's amazing. And if it weren't for this seat cushion, I would have gotten rid of this chair almost like within 6 months of having it.
Do you go to
It's
the
horrendous.
Do you go to the VA, Blake?
I did, yeah.
Did they give you like an
thankfully, I
MRI
got
and
my-
shit on your back?
No, so it wasn't that bad at the time, but it was like bad enough where I'm like, I'm gonna claim this because like I know at some point it was
Not
gonna
service
go downhill,
connected.
and now it is. Thankfully, I got my back and my knees, so which all of that has gotten worse over the past 3 years.
Did you get tonight?
I need to go back. No, dude, I went and for like because you have to go to like the hearing, the ear doctor or whatever, and take the boop test or whatever. And fucking I went and did that. I went and got a sleep test done because I was having a really shitty time sleeping. I think I did like one of the psych ones or whatever, like for fucking anxiety. And when I got my rating, they gave me my back and my knees and said there was nothing on there about any of the other appointments I went to. And I called them. I'm like, hey, I just want to know what's up with these ratings. Like, where is all this stuff? None of it's in my file. And they're like, you never went and did any of that. And I was like, bullshit. Like, I have 3 days I had to call out of work and go to these appointments and these papers and all this shit. And they're like, we don't have it on file. You're going to have to reschedule and go do all that stuff again. And I was like, fuck it. None of that's really bothering me that much anyway. The tinnitus, though,
I got
regret not
tinnitus.
following through on that one again.
I got
because
tinnitus off
that
the
shit's
rip.
just getting worse.
Because they can't prove it wrong.
See, the thing is, like, for me with the tinnitus thing, it was like my hearing test was very different from what I thought it was going to be. So I thought it was going to be the beeps and pushing a button. What it was like repeat the sentences that this thing says to you.
That's weird.
And it was super weird. But they gave me tinnitus, but not bilateral hearing loss. But my tinnitus is fucking bad.
Shit. Speaking of sentences, you're about to see how bad that Blake or that
You're gonna see
That
how
Rob
bad I
reads.
can. You're gonna watch my dyslexia in live format right now. It's gonna be great.
I can't wait. I can barely read.
So yeah,
Pretty
but
good.
you're a Marine. That we all know that. Come on,
Listen,
you
I
get
have-
a pass.
I have head injuries from jumping out of planes, so fuck you.
No, you don't get a pass.
I don't. I'm just stupid.
No, not you. You get a pass. You're in the Marines. We're like, we know you can't read. It's okay.
I'm a Marine. Rah, 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 rah. All right, so the first thing
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
why he's
talk
not
about.
reading. No one else would understand. Half the people that listen wouldn't understand the article.
So we're gonna talk about something really cool today, and that's how the fucking military wants to really shit on their reenlistment numbers. And that is by overhauling the overseas COLA policy, leading to a pay decrease for some military members. So the military service members stationed in most overseas locations are set to see decreases in their take-home pay starting in June because it changes how the Defense Department calculates the cost of living adjustments. So at issue are the overseas COLA at the Pentagon to ensure the members outside of the continental U.S. get compensated fairly. The basic idea is to make sure that people stationed in Hawaii or Germany have the same purchasing power for day-to-day needs as their stateside peers of the same rank. Last year, amid concerns about inflation, DoD decided to set a floor of its overseas COLAs. The department determined it wouldn't let any of the local adjustment rates fall any farther than they had in 2022, but it would still let them raise based on the surveys of how much consumer goods and services actually cost in a particular spot. So basically, they were adjusting it for inflation, but inflation's gotten so out of hand that they're like, no more.
Like, quote unquote. Well, they're in Hawaii. I've got friends that are out there
Dude, Hawaii's
with the
expensive.
new pay changes. they can't even afford shit.
I'm sure.
And like milk over there is more expensive than fucking gas.
Dude, I know.
And with the pay cuts, half of them can't even find housing and shit.
Hawaii is expensive. So under the new policy, which takes effect starting in the 15th of May pay period, DOD will return to its prior stance of letting the COLA rates decrease as they otherwise would have. For places where the department calculates cost of living relative to the continental U.S., half of the decreases will be phased during the service members' June 1st paychecks. The other half will take effect in their December 1st paychecks. That's a long gap.
Yeah.
As of Wednesday afternoon, the department had not updated its COLA tables to reflect the new policy, making it impossible to determine how significant the decreases will be depending on rank and locality. So people don't know.
How convenient.
It's like, so you can't properly plan for this decrease because there's no information on the tables to show you how much is decreasing. So you're kind of like in the wind. It's almost like the IRS. How much do I owe? Figure it out or you go to jail. we know how much you owe, but we're not going to tell you.
I don't even think they know how much we owe.
I'm gonna tell you.
So as of Wednesday afternoon, the department had not updated. Oh, I already read that. So, but on the conference call with reporters Tuesday, officials strongly suggested that overseas COLA rates will decline for almost everyone compared to what they are now receiving. They were only able to identify the location where the COLA rate would immediately rise under the new formula, Singapore. Only 167 U.S. military members are currently stationed there, according to the DoD's Defense Manpower Data Center. But the Pentagon is emphasizing different metrics that says will offset whatever decreases it ultimately publishes. Since all military members received a 4.6 increase in their basic pay, an average of 11.2% increase in their basic allowances for substances,
food.
Yeah. Most military members will still be getting larger paychecks than they would have at the same time last year. That's what the officials say.
Lies.
They're so full of shit that their eyes are brown. Well, we are announcing
food because you thought it was too stupid to understand that meant food.
Well,
probably.
Because, some people. We have some civilians in regiment that will listen to this podcast, and just in general,
they'll Google what subsistence means.
Say that aren't necessarily. I do the Joe Rogan thing where, like, if it's common to us, but some listeners may not necessarily know what it is, I'll try to break it down. That's why I was like, even though I know a lot of the stuff, when we're asking you questions, I'll kind of clarify, like, where do you stream? Even though I know it's on fucking Twitch.
Yeah. Okay. I apologize for those who shot at me.
Fucking shit. Yeah, that's right. Be sorry.
Also, under the new policy, combatant commanders who oversee each geographic portion of the DoD's global footprint have a new avenue to appeal DoD's determinations about how large the overseas COLAs should be. They'll have 45 days to let the Pentagon know that they believe this survey data on local cost is wrong, which, let's be honest, yeah, they have 45 days to let the Pentagon know, but I guarantee the Pentagon will be like, you didn't tell us in time. It's kind of so the thing is, there is going to be a decrease, but the Department of Defense is saying it's not going to be like a bad decrease, but it's already showing that it is. Look at Hawaii.
Did you get COLA in?
Fuck yeah, I got COLA.
I know you got COLA.
I wasn't.
Did you get COLA in Okie?
Oh, are you talking about Blake?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
You didn't get COLA in Okie?
Over there?
No, I didn't get anything extra.
They don't give two fucks about Marines, bro. They're like, sucks to suck, man.
I got told. We got told like, hey, you might be getting a little bit extra. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. When we get there, first couple paychecks are like, so where's this money? They're like, hey, you're not getting it. Oh, okay.
That's kind of how that shit works, isn't it? So we're
like, you got a barracks and you got food. You don't worry about it.
Dude, in the barracks are always fucking so bad. Our barracks in Italy, we had mosquitoes in the pipes. So we had mosquitoes coming out of our toilets, coming out of our sinks, and we were just getting eaten alive inside the barracks by mosquitoes because they were just like, they were infested inside of our pipes. So there was nothing we could do about it. So we were getting bit all the fucking time. We're just covered in mosquito bites all day, every day. And then gnats. That's the other thing. In Italy, there are these things called bull gnats. And they're basically gnats that are the size of like a fly.
A bull?
No, a fly. And they bite you.
Misleading.
And they go for carbon dioxide. So like wherever you breathe, like your nose and your mouth, they swarm your fucking nose and mouth. So when you're running, it'd be very common for you to fucking choke on a gnat and like vomit and like, or get them in your eye. They'll go for your eyes too. I had a gnat go in my eye and it was there all day, and I couldn't get it out. Finally, I just went like that, and I pushed, and it came right out where the tear duct is, and this fucker was like that big. It was huge. Shit was behind my eye for like the whole day, and they'll bite your shins. So, and they're so much worse than mosquito bites because they'll bite your shins, and you get these massive, massive welts that itch and hurt. And because you're wearing boots and socks, like where they bite you, your boots and shit are right at that spot. So they're constantly irritated. So your shins are swollen with these gnat bites and shit. It was so fucking horrible.
I could have swore you said that they bite your chin.
They shin your legs. They bite your legs and they get in your mouth. Like they swarm your mouth and nose, and then they bite your legs. It's super cool.
Thought they were just some chin biting motherfuckers.
And I never knew gnats bit until I went to Italy. It's a nightmare. So yeah, Italy's cool and all except for the bugs. And for some reason,
so excited to get paid less though.
I know it's gonna be great. What were your barracks like? Were they bad?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Y'all Marines.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why the Air Force gets paid more to stay in our barracks. Like, there's absolute reason.
Every single room I went to had black mold.
Oh
well,
yeah,
no, that's just because you didn't clean it. Oh,
I'm sorry I didn't live in it before and I had just moved in.
it's your fault. It is
that was
100%.
literally the first TikTok I saw of you, where like the barracks, man. You think about like you get there, you get in there like, oh, black mold, so excited.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I don't know what it is about Marine Corps barracks, but y'all get like bad mold problems in all of your barracks.
Because they don't care.
Yeah.
It's so fucking bad.
You get a lot of people that just don't clean, and it's also just so humid all the time, everywhere.
Yeah, especially in Camp Lejeune.
Like
it's moist all the time.
Very moist everywhere you go.
You got all the fucking barracks bunny moisture in there from Marines shoving them in their closets and just keeping them there.
I've seen photos of guys going on deployment and coming back, and their fucking barracks, like their beds, their uniforms, are all covered in mold.
You ever seen those videos?
Yeah, I've seen those videos.
Where
That's
they go
what I'm
in,
referencing.
just the whole room and just covered in mold.
It looks like some Last of Us shit. Like they just come in, there's like cordyceps growing on their fucking uniforms and shit. It's nasty.
What's that one? What's the army base that we go to all the time? Fort Pick?
Fort Pick.
Fort Polk, maybe?
Fort Polk, Louisiana?
No. This is Lejeune Marines will go there all the time for some training.
It sounds like
Virginia?
Fort Polk. Was it?
Maybe. I'm pretty sure it was like
I went
Fort
there one
Pick.
time. I don't remember. Oh man, it's gonna hit me. At
People
some
in the
point.
comments will probably tell us. I can't remember what it is.
Cool thing about technology, Doc, is I have a computer at my fucking fingertips. So
Yeah, but you can barely read.
Fort Pickens? That's Florida.
Maybe.
Fort Pickett
Yeah, Fort Pickett. That's what I thought.
in Blackstone, Virginia.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that I go to. That place is ass.
I've never even heard of this place.
It's fucking trash.
I mean, if I've never heard of it, it's got a fucking 3.7 star rating on Google.
Out of
Fort Barfoot?
No, that's not it. No, Pickett was the one.
Yeah, Fort Pickett's the right one, but ew. All right, we're going to talk about AI. Remember how we said last week, Doc, that we were going to talk about AI in the next episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, here it comes.
Here it
it's
comes.
like the AI fucking knew.
The AI knew we were going to talk about it today.
They're literally listening to us. I was using AI to figure out different names.
Dude, I use ChatGPT a lot, especially in like programming.
I've never used it. I don't even understand.
You should. You should
It's-
use it for like creating video. You can use it for your video ideas, like titles. Everything you can put into it. You can even tell it to like think of the best search engine optimization and shit. And you can do it. There's even one where you can do it for pictures, for thumbnails, and it's insane.
I want to play with the AI for doing that for our videos. This one I'll probably just do by hand, but like the last video we did, I'm probably going to use AI to make a thumbnail. I used it for debugging my code. So like for debugging code for programs and shit, it's very hard if there's two different kinds of errors that you find in code. There's a syntax error, which is like something's wrong with your code and it'll show you. And a logical error, which is your code is correct on how it's written, but it doesn't perform as it's intended, but it doesn't show you because it's a logical error. So it reads fine, but but the output's wrong. So those are harder to find because there's no clear indicator that there's something wrong with your code. You have to actually dig through it and find it. And it could take hours for you to find this fucking problem. So what I would do is I would just copy all my code, paste it to Chat GPT and say, debug the following code, and then just show it the code, and then it will break down what's wrong with it and then correct it. And then it works fine.
That's insane.
So yeah, it doesn't do it for every language. Like IBM server shit, it doesn't understand it. So it's just like it kind of shits the bed with it because it's so old. But like newer programs like Java and stuff, and web programming stuff, it knows it pretty damn good. So
that's insane.
AI. So the next fear on AI, Hollywood's killer robots become the military's tools. So the U.S. national security officials were. Did I show you the video? I would show you, Blake, but you're not on TikTok right now. But I'm sorry, buddy. But the AI, the fucking robot that like. So there's this robot where they put like this latex face on it to give it like facial expressions, and they were like
iRobot.
It looks exactly like iRobot. It's just like it gets surprised by seeing itself in a mirror and it starts touching the mirror.
I've seen video. I don't think I've seen one that you sent me, but I've seen videos on it. It's like
studying itself and making these facial expressions and looking at itself, making these expressions and touching at it and stuff, and then looking at the camera and smiling and then looking back at itself and shit. Super creepy.
People have asked why they gave it a face and shit.
Yeah, because people think that having a robot face, and dude, what was it? I want to say New York or somewhere in maybe it's Texas or California, but like they're going to be using robot dogs for police for patrolling, and like it's a felony to fuck with it. Kind of crazy.
Felony
I know.
To fuck with
I'll look this up after this. So the U.S. national security officials are warning about the potential for new technology to upend war's cyber conflict. In the most extreme case, the use for nuclear weapons. So when President Biden announced sharp restrictions in October on selling the most advanced computer chips to China, he sold it on part as a way of giving American industry a chance to restore its competitiveness.
But that's a big sentence for him to put together right now.
But at the Pentagon, the National Security Council, there was a second agenda: arms control. If the Chinese military cannot get the chips, the theory goes it may slow its effort to develop weapons driven by artificial intelligence. That would give the White House and the world time to figure out some rules for the use of artificial intelligence in sensors, missiles, cyber weapons, and ultimately guard against some nightmares conjured by Hollywood, autonomous killer robots and computers that lock out their human creators. Now, the fog of fear surrounding the popular ChatGPT chatbot and other generative AI software has made the limiting of chips in Beijing look just a temporary fix. But when Mr. Biden dropped the meeting in White House on Thursday of technology executives who were struggling with limiting the risk of technology, his first comment was, "What are you doing as enormous potential and enormous danger?" It was a reflection, his national security aides, of recent classified briefings about the potential for the new technology to upend war, cyber conflict, in the most extreme case, a decision-making on employing nuclear weapons. Can you imagine AI controlling nukes?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think someone the
shit.
age of Joe Biden, for example, is exactly the best representative to have in regards to
Let's
technology.
put it this way.
Because they struggle with a cell phone.
My grandmother is literally 2 years older than this guy, and we literally had to take her to the hospital yesterday because she didn't know how to say pork chop anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, like, my grandmother, she managed a credit union for 20 years, so she's more apt on technology than the average person of her age, right?
But she worked in technology, that's why.
Yeah, and it's still frustrating with her phone, like teaching her different phone technological advances and like how to work, simple stuff.
Can you fix the internet for me?
Exactly. Just, like, what's going on with the TV? Oh my God, Grandma, just press these 2 buttons or something.
You just go hit input.
Like, they
and go
struggle. So these people are not the best representatives for this shit.
No, they're not. I'm kind of curious. I guarantee, God, AI running nuclear weapons. That's some Skynet shit, dude. But even terrifying. As Mr. Fuck yeah, it's terrifying. But even as
My
Mr.
logic is undeniable.
Oh my dude, before I dive further into this, so I asked ChatGPT about, what are the concerns of AI? I said, will AI deem humanity obsolete? And the things that it said were concerning as fuck. Let me
Don't just leave us like that. What did it say?
I mean, it's on my phone, but I really want to like see if I can repeat it. So let's go to ChatGPT real quick.
Have you ever played with the Snapchat AI? Like,
I have.
it's
Just a little bit.
fucking weird.
Just a little bit. Like
It's
I got bored and I was like, tell me about the Ottoman Empire in 500 words. And it just like spit out like this 500 word paragraph about the Ottoman Empire, and I was like, that's nuts.
I taught it what Barney style means. I told it to break something down to me Barney style, and it was like, what do you mean? And I told it to Google it, because I'm like, you have the entire fucking internet that you can give to me in a flash blink of an eye, faster than I could even open my phone to look it up. Google it. And then it was like, I see. Breaking it down to like how you would break something down to a child. And I'm like, oh, look at that. I just taught the AI something. I feel accomplished.
I don't know if you really taught the AI something, because you just said, hey, Google it. I don't think you can take credit for teaching somebody something if you say Google it.
I'm taking credit for it.
I want to double check.
Because it didn't know what it was until I told it to figure it out.
I want to double check exactly what I asked this fucking thing, because it was... I asked it something very specific. I said, our computer is going to kill us. That's what it said. And this podcast is also proudly partnered with StackUp. StackUp is another military gaming organization. The one thing different, though, is that they focus mostly on the mental health of veterans as well as the betterment of veterans alike. One of the programs that StackUp has is their STOP, or Overwatch program, which is a 24/7 crisis support line for veterans. The thing that sets StackUp's Overwatch program above all other crisis support lines, including the VAs, is the fact that this 24/7 crisis line is operated by trained veterans. So when a veteran calls in crisis, they're not just talking to a random person. They themselves are talking to a vet that has also gone through something similar and can relate to the situation. Their trained staff in this Overwatch program will help a veteran find the resources that they need to find help. And if the person just wants somebody to talk to, the Overwatch program is great for that too. Another cool thing that the Overwatch program does is that you don't have to sit there and talk on the phone with somebody. If you feel comfortable just doing DMs, they can definitely do that too. Another really cool thing that StackUp has is their air assaults. Air assaults are where they'll take a veteran and fly them to conventions all over the country. This includes TwitchCon, Comic-Con, anywhere in the US, all expenses paid. And if a convention happens to be somewhere out west in California, StackUp has what's called a Phalanx House, which is essentially a gaming lounge for all veterans to just go to. StackUp will definitely hook you up with that. They have pool tables, hot tubs, and just a place to stay if you're out west. It's pretty cool. Another thing that StackUp has is their supply crates. Now, what they'll do is they'll take gaming equipment, gaming consoles, and other cool swag and send it to either a veteran in need or a unit somewhere deployed or a unit that needs it. This is a great way to keep veterans connected and boost the morale of the veterans that need it. Every year, StackUp has a charity called the Call to Arms. The Call to Arms charity is to help StackUp raise the funds that they need for all the awesome programs that they have. Last year alone, they raised $625,000, and all of that money goes to keeping these programs going to help other veterans that need it. If you're looking to donate, we have the donation link down in the bio. But if not, go ahead and spread the word of this awesome charity and head on over to stackup.org and check them all out. That's stackup.org and tell them Regiment sent you. All right, so this is what I asked it.
Version. Okay.
So this is what I asked it. It said, if AI ever became sentient, would it likely render human beings obsolete? So its response says, as an AI language model, I cannot predict the future or express personal opinions. However, I can offer some perspectives on the topic. The idea of AI becoming sentient and rendering humans obsolete is a matter of speculation and debate amongst experts in AI, ethics, and philosophy. There are several factors to consider. Number one, the nature of AI sentience. AI sentience would imply that machines have consciousness, emotions, and self-awareness similar to humans. This is a concept that is not yet fully understood or achieved, and it's unclear how sentience would change an AI's behavior or relationship with humans. Number two, complementary skills. AI and humans possess different complementary skills. AI excels in tasks that involve pattern recognition, data analysis, and complex calculations, while humans are more capable in areas like creativity, empathy, and abstract thinking. In this sense, a sentient AI might not necessarily render humans obsolete, but rather create new opportunities for collaboration and innovation. Ethics and regulation. As AI continues to develop, societies are increasingly considering ethical frameworks and regulations that govern the use of AI. If AI were to become sentient, it is likely that legal and ethical considerations would be put in place to protect the rights and roles of both human beings and AI, and to prevent the risk of obsolescence. Human adaptability. Human beings have shown great adaptability. This is very different than the answer that I got. The answer that it gave me last time said it said the same thing, but for number one, coexistence and cooperation. In this scenario, sentient AI and humans would coexist and work together, complementing each other's strengths and weaknesses. AI could help humans solve complex problems, make better decisions, and improve the quality of life. Humans, in turn, could provide emotional intelligence, creativity, and social skills that AI might not possess. Number two, all dominance. If a sentient AI were to have goals and values misaligned with human values or develop its own objectives, it could lead to a situation where AI seeks to control resources, outperform humans, or act in ways harmful to humanity. In this case, humans could be rendered obsolete or even face extinction. Is this AI saying this, by the way? Number three, restriction and regulation. To prevent the risks associated with sentient AI, humans might choose to impose strict regulations on AI development, research, and deployment. This could limit the potential benefits of AI, but also reduce the chances of AI rendering humans obsolete. AI-enhanced humans. Another possibility is the integration of AI with human beings.
I think that's most likely to happen.
It said integration of AI with human biology, leading to the development of augmented humans who possess both human and AI characteristics. This scenario might blur the lines between humans and AI and potentially prevent obsolescence. Ultimately, whether sentient AI renders humans obsolete depends on how we approach AI development, ethics, and collaboration between humans and AI. It is crucial to prioritize aligning AI with human values and ensuring responsible development and deployment to maximize benefits and minimize potential risks. So essentially, it gave us four scenarios. One is to coexist. One is that AI would take over. Another would be restriction regulation. And the last would be basically integration. So we either coexist, integrate, or just be steamrolled by it.
I think integration is most likely to happen.
Isn't Elon Musk like essentially working on something like that
with
already with that
Neuralink?
chip?
Neuralink, yeah. So
I know that's like his big thing about AI. Like every interview I've seen with Elon, he's always like, they ask him about AI, what's up with it? And he's like, we need to be careful, dude.
Oh yeah,
if you think about it, I think the reason I think we're more likely to become integrated is because everything that we're doing, and you think augmented reality glasses, you've got the VR stuff, anything in that realm related to video games in general. You got people like Facebook doing the metaverse thing. You've got his Neuralink stuff. I think we're more likely to become integrated because humans, one, we don't want to be taken over by something smarter. We'd rather
we become the smarter thing.
Yeah, we'd probably have it become a part of us.
The problem with
that, make us smarter.
So the problem with that is, when does it turn into the human that's augmented just becomes the AI in a biological form, and then just does the fucking and just does the humans are obsolete thing anyway?
I mean, in that case, that's based off a definition, I think.
And I think if we do integration, chances are that whole thing that scenario could very potentially happen, because can you imagine, like, humans are already like, we're kind of a fallible creature, if that's the term I'm using correctly, but we are very imperfect, especially when it comes to our logic. You implement an AI into that thinking and have a person with like a human, with like its own motives, essentially. Give it an AI and make it to where it's more advanced and thinks better than any other person. When is it going to say these motives now are my priority, and I have the means of actually like, and it could be a fucking nefarious motive, you know. And it kind of goes along with this with China and Russia. So Biden was issuing his warning. Pentagon officials speaking on technology forums said that they thought the idea of 6-month pause in developing the next generation of ChatGPT and similar software was a bad idea. The Chinese won't wait, and neither will the Russians. If we stop, guess who's not going to stop? Potential adversaries and overseas. So the blunt statement underlined the tension felt through the defense community today. No one really knows what these new technologies are capable of. And when it comes to developing and controlling weapons, and they have no idea what kind of arms control regime, if any, might work.
It's a long fucking article.
So is it really that long? Yeah,
Holy shit.
It really is.
Pretty long.
I'm going to summarize this a little bit.
Something else that we summarize this is a long ass article. If it's a super long article, we ain't reading the whole thing. We're going to squirrel the fuck off.
So let's see. Though the new software has popularized the issue,
here we go.
It is hardly a new one for the Pentagon. The first rules on developing autonomous weapons were published a decade ago. The Pentagon's Joint Artificial Intelligence, the Pentagon has a joint AI center, was established 5 years ago to explore the use of AI in combat. Oh, great.
I'm not surprised. That doesn't surprise me.
Some weapons already operate on autopilot. Patriot missiles, which shoot down missiles or planes entering protected airspace, have automatic.
Where do you think we got like drones from? A lot of drones are AI. They're not necessarily controlled.
Well, here's the thing. It enables them to fire without human intervention when overwhelmed with incoming targets faster than a human could react. But they are supposed to be supervised by humans who can abort attacks if necessary.
Correct. Because like their identification of targets is just, it's instantaneous. It's like how you can get a response from the AI almost instantly.
This is literally just another mass weapons race. This is like the new nuclear, who can make the first nuclear weapon.
It is.
Like
they talked about the new war
all over again.
They talked about the new war being an online war or like a virtual war. It's going to be about like economic online shit, power grid systems and everything like that, like hacking. Most of it is going to be, there's going to be like the primitive real war type shit, but it's mostly going to be virtual.
This is a very fucking fun sentence here. In the military, AI-infused systems can speed up the tempo of battlefield decisions to such a degree that they create entirely new risks of accidental strikes or decisions made on misleading or deliberately false alerts of incoming attacks. A core problem with AI in the military and the national security is how do you defend against attacks that are faster than human decision-making? And I think the issue is unresolved. What happens if it's a false signal? Ew.
That reminds me, there was a test done not too long ago. It was like some AI thing against like a squad of Marines. And the Marines ended up finding out if they just put themselves in cardboard boxes, they could maneuver and destroy whatever that piece of machinery, whatever it was. I can't remember what exactly it was.
Was that because it couldn't recognize it as a person?
Exactly. It couldn't recognize it as a person, so it couldn't do anything. It didn't think it was in any threat until it was too late.
Might be the smartest shit I've ever heard a Marine do.
Of course, I'm telling you, dude, they do smart shit. They just do it. They do stupid shit. But they're just
nope. You said it first. You can't take it back.
They took the solid. They took the solid snake approach.
How fucking stupid is that? Only a Marine is gonna be like, bro, let's just put ourselves in cardboard boxes. Nobody else is fucking thinking of that except the goddamn Marine.
You know that guy that came up with the idea was like, Solid Snake did it in Metal Gear. I wonder if it works.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
It has to be something like that. If Snake did it and it fucking worked, you had actual dudes walking around that didn't even know that you were in a fucking box. They thought, oh, there's a random box here. Okay. And then fuck off. And nope, let's sneak up on the machinery with inside of a cardboard box. I don't think it'll because it recognizes us. It doesn't recognize this object because it sees it as an inanimate object and not a threat. So let's just hide in the box. Someone probably put 2 and 2 together that, hey, the machinery is not noticing inanimate objects as a threat. I wonder if we disguise ourselves as an inanimate object so that when it renders the objects in its area, it doesn't really think it as anything.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like
but that was before the AI advancement that we have now.
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
The AI advancement just in the past year has skyrocketed to where it was like before it was like a 1 or 2 year old child like cognition wise, I guess. Now it's like an 8-year-old child in a span of a year.
Less than that.
Think
because
about
they've
how
connected
far,
everything.
Think about how far just our lives have advanced in 60 years.
Oh my
the
God,
internet,
it's crazy.
the internet first became available in 1960. We are at AI. We're at AI. We're at the movies now. We're living the movies.
And the thing is, AI or internet became accessible in the 60s, but it wasn't like for the public to consume at the time.
No, it wasn't.
And then
It
that
sucked.
really became public around like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah,
And then from that point on, it's just grown ever since. I remember, dude, and I remember in high school when just downloading a fucking image took forever. And now here I am, I'm fucking using an AI to help me with homework.
There's people that don't know what a floppy disk is. They're like, why does this look like a save button?
Why is there a 3D printed save button?
Was it you when I had my TikTok? Was it you that sent me those like hockey players or something?
Yeah, that
were
was
like,
me.
What's this? Like, what is this? And
It was a
he's like,
VHS tape.
Is this a CD? And it's like, no, it's a VHS tape. Like,
And there's like two of them that knew what it was.
yeah. They knew what it was, but they didn't. They were like, oh, I used to use these all the time at like my grandmother's house back in the day. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know what a VHS tape is? I was mad because some of them were older than me. I was like, how do you not know what a VHS tape is?
Yeah, I was looking at that and I was like,
I did see that. I saw that.
The age gap for some of these guys is fucking. It's like, what?
So
You don't know what? Like, it's you don't know what the fuck that is. Like, what the fuck?
Did you watch that video I sent you? The AI dilemma?
No, not yet. I was gonna watch it later.
It's
So
good.
yeah, I mean,
It's an hour long. So
that's why I'm gonna watch it later.
Get some snacks. Get some snacks.
So let's talk about some video games because that's what we all do and that's what we all band together for, and that's video
Nerds.
Fucking nerds. So Activision. It wouldn't be a podcast with us if we didn't shit on fucking Activision. Even though Call of Duty is like one of our biggest games in Regiment, I will forever hate Call of Duty and I will always fucking hate Activision.
Well, yeah, I mean, McDonald's is like one of the biggest restaurants in the world and in the country, but it's still not good for you.
Right. And I
still hate it.
I've said this before and I will say it again. Call of Duty is the McDonald's of gaming because it's comfort food and it's shit. None of it's really that good. And it always has some bullshit to get you to come back and buy more. And you only go to it because it's all you know and you're cool with it. You don't want to try anything new.
But you always regret it after you have it.
I had the best double cheeseburger from McDonald's like 2 days ago I've had in years. And that you saying that, it's like getting on Call of Duty for the first time in a while and you get a win on Warzone. And you're like, I'm back, baby. Let's do this.
Exactly.
And then you go back again and you just have a shit game and you're like, this.
Yeah, you're
I
like, fuck
regret
this game.
everything.
Like, I hate this
Like
fucking
when you
game.
get McDonald's, you feel like shit. You're like, I regret that. You've done this on stream exactly before. You're like, I regret having that McDonald's.
It got to a point when I was streaming, like when I was playing Call of Duty, there was like, when I was getting on, dude, I would just be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to play this fucking game anymore. Like I wasn't looking forward to streaming because of Call of Duty. Like I was legit just like dreading hitting that go live button because I did not want to play Warzone. And I'm like, I'll warm up with Plunder. Played Plunder, ran into a bunch of hackers, and I'm like, I'm not having fun here, guys. I'm going to play something else. So now I play like Hell Let Loose, Destiny. Elden Ring is now the new thing for me.
Elden Ring was my first game I ever streamed.
Was it?
The only thing I streamed until I finished it. And I have rage clips. I have one because I used to stream off a Mac, dude. My stream looked like shit.
See, I never raged at Elden. I've only been playing it for a few days, but I never raged at it. I get frustrated, but like for some reason, like I find these really hard boss fights fascinating because I use it as like a study. Because I'm like, all right, what's a way I can approach this? Like I'd use it like as a problem solving exercise. So like my first boss, I fucked up, and my first boss was in a dungeon. It was like a cat statue, which wasn't that bad. But my next boss I fought I went in the underground area. Early in the game. It was like the second place I went to. I found like this elevator. So I was trying to fight these rune bears. I'm like, I'm going to come back to these guys. And I found this elevator that went down. And then I ended up following it more. And it was like this something Safari River or some shit like that. And then there was like that one boss where it's the fucking deer. Did you ever fight that? The ancient. It was like the ancient
I
spirit.
never fought the deer.
It was like regal ancient spirit, which is like a deer.
Wait. In that area where it's like everything's like kind of glowing or whatever. And you got those like troll ladies that sing.
No. So this place looks like Roman architecture, but like in space. It's like Siofra River or some shit like that. Let me pull it up.
The boss.
We are literal squirrels, guys.
I know.
That happens, you know. But you say you never raged. I never really raged in that game until the final boss. And also, you talking about problem solving, I'm the exact opposite. Like, everyone would be like, you need to do this, and this. I would sit there for an hour, 2 hours, and just do the same thing until it worked.
That's what it was like watching you play against those juggernauts.
So,
dude, Modern Warfare 2 Veteran Mode, I'm so sorry, really quick. Modern Warfare 2 Veteran Mode, the Juggernaut Spec Ops mission, the OG MW2.
Oh, yeah.
2 hours straight, did not stop until I beat it. Okay.
Yeah, dude, I remember that shit. So the guy that I fought right here was called Regal Ancient. If I spell ancient right, spirits.
He probably won't.
It's like so. It's like a dead deer. It looks like a glowing dead deer. And someone was watching me, and like I was streaming in Discord, and someone's like, "Wait, what level are you?" I'm like 15, and they're like, "Dude, this is like a level 60 area." Well, what are you doing in this fight? You should not be fighting this guy. And I fucking stuck with it and fought this fucking deer. I thought it was crazy. And then I fought Margit. The first boss. It's like
the first one, the first act like story boss.
Yeah, the first story boss on the fucking bridge. The guy that jumps and he has got the fucking glowing knives and shit. I spent 2 days on that guy. And the day that I beat him, I ended up beating 6 bosses in that day.
I think I did the same thing.
Because I beat.
It took me about 2 days.
I beat him, and then after I beat him, I immediately went and fought Godric, and I beat him in like an hour, and then I just ended up going on a roll of just beating bosses. It's a fucking great game, I think.
The final 2 bosses, I think, took me 3 or 4 days.
Have you fought Millennia yet?
Straight. No, I refused. After I beat the game, they were like, "You should go fight Millennia." I went to the area to go do it, and I was like, "No, Nope, I moved on. I haven't touched Elden Ring since I beat it. I like beat it and then immediately went on like the N+ or whatever rampage for like 2 hours, killing everyone in my sight until I finally died. And then I haven't touched Elden Ring since.
I'm all about. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm gonna go find that bitch at some point and fight her. I'm gonna hate myself for it. But all right, so back to Activision. So Activision pays millions and still denies the abuse claims, as if that changes anything. So with this payout, Activision can deny without any wrongdoing. And anyone who takes the money has to drop their abuse claims. Oh, there's the fucking, by the way, on that one.
That hush money, though.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So Activision...
Everyone's got a price. I've got a price.
Activision has paid out $18 million to workers over some allegations of sexism it faced in 2021. But it still denies any wrongdoing. Of course they would, because they investigated themselves. The payment is said to have gone out to hundreds of current and former workers so far, even as Activision denies these claims. However, workers who made these allegations, which include case of gender harassment and pregnancy discrimination, will also have to drop these claims if they take the money. This means that the allegations have been released under the federal, state, and local law and won't be raised in further investigation into Activision. This settlement only covers the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission lawsuit, with a separate case being held in California. So a source with knowledge...
That's the case that's like, there's so much to that case that's insane.
Dude, there's like, they get sued by everybody. Like the last couple of years has just been a hell. They've like been just fucking hell on the legal team.
Anything in California, because we found out a while back on one of your episodes that they weren't allowed to... They were found not allowed to be able to investigate because people from one investigation were also a part of the new organization that had allegations against them.
Right.
When in reality, or when in true legal sense, they weren't supposed to be allowed to do that. But it's only because the other 2 people had worked for the other company.
Right. So a source with knowledge on the settlement explained that the conditions of the payment to the gamer, and it could risk the effectiveness of the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing Investigation into Activision. Not only can Activision continue to deny the claims made by its workers, anyone who takes money from the settlement won't be able to make these allegations of gender harassment and pregnancy discrimination in other investigations. Essentially, this means that with relatively small payout, Activision has rid itself of some of the allegations of sexism it has faced since 2021. So the consent decree specifically states that Activision denies liability, says the source close to the subject. This was a settlement process, not an adjudication of claims. When asked if Activision will be barred from denying the workers' claims of sexism and abuse, the source rejected this idea too. No, again, there is no admission of liability. Persons who received notice were able to submit a claim submit a claim form that described their potential claim. The EEOC determined that whether what was on the form was covered by the terms of consent decree, specifically gender harassment, pregnancy discrimination, and related retaliation. Furthermore, the source made it clear that Activision will fight all other allegations made by the workers. Activision is continuing to defend itself in those proceedings against all claims. The Department of Fair Employment and Housing lawsuit against Activision Blizzard is still far from over. It was the case being made public that revealed some of the more extreme allegations facing the company. This included a woman dying by suicide on a work trip after her nude photographs were shared around the office without her consent. And then
I feel like every time that's mentioned, like just it's worded a phrase in a different way, and it makes sometimes it sounds worse than it is. The other time it's like, is that really related?
Another thing that they left out here was the fact that Activision, like the heads at Activision and Blizzard, took that woman's phone and then had to have a warrant from the authorities to hand it over. So the family didn't have this girl's phone. Activision had it. And then
it may have been a work phone. It could have been a work phone.
Maybe. Who knows? But like
a contracted work phone.
And they were saying that there was nothing on the phone. It almost looked like it was wiped. So
I feel like, I mean, possession is 9/10 of the law.
So Activision has made efforts to address the abuse allegations that came to light in 2021. But this
look at this fucking cuck.
I know. I hate Bobby Kotick.
He looks like a puffer fish.
He looks like an evil gremlin.
Beady-eyed looking motherfucker.
So Activision has made efforts to address the abuse allegations that came to light in 2021, but this development makes it clear that the company is far from admitting any wrongdoing. This isn't too surprising, given that one of Activision's first acts after the claims came to light was to hire Wilmer Hale, a law firm that specializes in union avoidance. CEO Bobby Kotick has also kept his job, despite reports that he knew about the alleged sexual misconduct within his own company for years. So far, the most significant change is that some of the other figures who face these accusations have left Activision. This includes former Blizzard president J. Allen Brack and Diablo 4's lead Jesse McCree. And Bobby Kotick is still there. And probably will stay there if this Microsoft deal doesn't go through, which it's looking like it might not.
He literally looks like he grabs her by the pussy.
Dude, the fucking... Blake, do you know about, you know who Bobby Kotick is?
No.
So he's the
CEO of Activision.
CEO of Activision that everyone's been calling to step down. And he actually had his he threatened to have his secretary killed because his pilot and his private jet was harassing her. She reported it. He did nothing. He told her to let it go. And then when she went public with it, he threatened to have her killed.
That's crazy.
And he's still the CEO. Because when she tried suing him for that, he ended up like threatening her and shit, and then she ended up dropping the lawsuit.
He's one of the reasons that Call of Duty sucks right now, because it's all about the money and not about the players. Everything that we went over an article last week, they talked about only giving a shit about really what the shareholders want and care about, and it's like, oh, so basically, fuck your customer and the people that you're supposed to be making this for. And no, the shareholders are all you care about.
Apparently, fuck the employees too. Like,
oh yeah,
literally,
which is like your driving force. These are the people that make the game. These are people that get it done, and you don't give a shit about them.
Oh no, they're fucking
cash
them
is king,
just
dude.
Against their will.
Yeah.
Like that just shows you like cash is king in our world. Like
everything that Activision does is. You ever notice that every issue that the store has gets fixed immediately, but any issues in the game kind of just get swept under the rug and handled like years later? It's because like it's affecting the money. They only give a shit about the money. They don't care about the player base. They never have. Oh, Activision shit gets me so heated. So let's talk about Fortnite, another game that gets me heated.
I love Fortnite.
You do, really?
That's how me and Blake first started playing with each other. Was Fortnite.
I used to hate it. I was like, this is dumb. This is so stupid. And then they put no builds in, and I was like, I'll give it another shot. And I was like, this is the only battle royale that I ever have fun in, because it just feels like I don't have to give a shit, and I still have an opportunity to win.
Because it's so stupid.
I don't take games. I don't take games too seriously. I'm there for the good times, you know. If I want to take it seriously, I will. But usually, I end up mad because I suck. But like, I can just not give a fuck. Like right now, they're doing the Star Wars thing, again. So you can go pick up a lightsaber and get force powers. I've been playing the shit out of it. Before we started this, I was playing Fortnite.
Dude, fucking, I played Fortnite once, and I was like, some kid built like a 5-star hotel in front of me, and I was like, I don't
have to worry about that anymore.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm still gonna play things that I enjoy, but I just don't like Fortnite. I never did.
Speaking of the builds too, like one of the challenges for the Star Wars challenges to unlock the skins and stuff is you have to get a win, and we were struggling getting a win. So I was like, the people I was playing with, I was like, let's go into a builds match, and they're like, dude, we're gonna get our asses beat. I'm like, no, trust me, like people get so hyper focused on building and stuff like that you can just you don't have to build. Just get behind a rock, shoot out their supports, and they fall. Like it's that easy. And they're like, you serious? I'm like, yeah. We went in there first game, won the match.
Because everyone's focused on the building.
So focused on putting walls up. Yeah, that's true. Is it different SBMM?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, well then never mind.
Well, the building in Fortnite is why I don't play it.
That's why
we never play that mode. We literally just play no builds.
But I'm really interested in the whole build creation thing that they've got going on right now on the Unreal Engine.
Creative 2.0?
Yes. Like seeing the shit that people are coming up with on that is like, whoa, that is pretty crazy. That's Fortnite.
They dropped a Rust inspired map as one of the first ones to kind of announce it all. And you play Domination on pretty much Rust in Fortnite.
That's pretty cool.
It's fun.
And I think you can do it in first person too, can't you?
I haven't seen that. Maybe, but I haven't seen it.
I mean, like people are making
creative mode they had, but
people are making full on Call of Duty matches in Fortnite right now.
Yep. I mean, they had that before, but now it's just limitless.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely limitless. So onto the Fortnite topic.
Back to the esports,
which is the Olympics
esports.
So Blake doesn't know, I don't think, is that Olympics is going to have esports in the next games.
I did not know that.
So it's just virtual, real sports,
right? So it's like virtual taekwondo, virtual archery, virtual racing. It's like actual fucking Olympic sports that they put in a virtual format. And we actually looked into this a couple weeks ago. It looks fucking weird, and I'm not really sure how well it's going to work. And we were like, well, what about, because everybody thought Valorant or something or this to be part of the esports thing, and we're like, and when we found out what the games were going to be, I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. So this is a new development, and this is the Fortnite's coming to the Olympics, apparently. So Fortnite joins the Olympic esports next month. So Fortnite has built a new specially designed creative island made to reflect the sports shooting competition for the Olympic esports, and competitors will vie for the gold medal on June 24th. While Fortnite is joining the Olympic esports, it won't be played as a battle royale. As reported by the BBC, the event will instead put 12 players from Fortnite Champions Series to play in Singapore. Organized by the International Olympic Committee to test their accuracy, an aforementioned island has been designed around the shooting targets. So it's not the last person standing who wins, it's whoever can aim the best. This is because the Olympic esports uses video games to reflect real-life sports. So Fortnite taking on the role of archery, essentially. So instead of competing, playing in battle royale, you're competing in target practice. So as the official Olympics website lists, the following games will be included alongside Fortnite, taking the role of the following real-life sports: eBaseball, Power Pros for, as you probably guessed, baseball, Chess.com for chess, Zwift for cycling, Just Dance.
I like how it says chess.com for, chess.
Yeah, pretty much. Zwift for cycling, Just Dance for dancing, Gran Turismo 7 for motorsport, Virtual Regatta for sailing, virtual taekwondo for taekwondo, and tennis clash for tennis. Sailing is going to be an interesting one, I think. How are you going to do virtual sailing?
The same as all the other ones. I mean,
you're gonna have like a
think of it like
a fake boat.
Think of it like you've seen Sea of Thieves.
No, because
virtually sail in that game.
So the example,
just think of like a flight simulator, but on a boat.
The example that we saw a couple weeks ago of the taekwondo was basically like you had one martial artist on this side, one on this side, like basically throwing kicks at nothing to like have their avatar do shit on the screen. So there's like some kind of physical element to the sport, right? Same with cycling and stuff. The sailing one, I'm kind of curious on how they're going to set that up, because with sailing, especially like in the Olympic sports, have you ever seen like competitive sailing?
I've only seen the rowing.
So it's like a super small boat with a massive sail, and it requires you to physically like manipulate the sail. Like you're leaning back and shit, and you're like kind of fucking with the sail. I'm curious what kind of contraption that's going to look like. Gran Turismo is going to be a racing sim seat. I guarantee that's all it's going to be.
Yeah, with the wheel and all that shit.
So sailing will be interesting to see.
It could be the contraption that will mimic the sail itself.
It might be. I want to know that they haven't showed footage of that. We'll have to wait until June to see what it really looks like.
This is going to be very interesting.
I know.
I'm kind of shocked that the Olympics is like implementing virtual.
It's weird for sure. So each game will be held in Singapore's Suntec Center. But for those abroad who want to catch the action, the games will be streamed globally on the official Olympics website and social channels. Tickets cost $7.50 per day or $20 for 3-day pass. Of course, they're going to charge you to watch it.
Wait, on the website you still have to pay?
Yeah. You have to. They'll only stream it to the website. You're not going to be able to watch this on Twitch or anything.
The fucking Olympics have always been on public TV.
I know. So not only will the Fortnite
match
is
horse shit.
I know. It's the Olympics, dude. You didn't think that they would try to fucking monetize this? Of course they would.
I never watched. Cash is king. I barely watched the Olympics.
Cash is king.
I'm
right.
upset for no reason.
So not only will the Fortnite match see 12 players competing to see who has the best accuracy in a custom map filled with targets, but it will also push them to navigate the in-game environment as they compete.
Oh,
what this will look like,
be like Fortnite.
What this will look like in practice is unclear, but we only have a month before the event goes live to find out. It'll be very interesting to see how this works. So yeah, that's Fortnite coming to the Olympics.
I wonder what it's gonna look. I wonder if it's gonna look like Fortnite though.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
With the Creative 2.0, I mean, we've talked about it. You can make games that look nothing like Fortnite.
No,
they've got games. They've got creative games right now that people have done, and it looks nothing like Fortnite. And it's first person. It's like this is Fortnite. I'm curious is if it's going to look like Fortnite and be archery.
Might be.
It's got to, right? I feel like part of the appeal. I feel like part of the reason they're doing this is like I guarantee you people aren't really watching the Olympics anymore.
Oh hell no,
like
they're not.
Used to. So this is like the whole appeal of like getting a younger crowd. So like if you do it and they're like, trust us, bro, it's Fortnite and it looks nothing like Fortnite, people aren't really going to want to stick around. I feel like people want to see like how this is going to work inside of the game, like and it looking like Fortnite. Because they've already got like, you run around Battle Royale, they've got targets. Like part of the challenge is you just got to go find these targets and hit targets while you're like moving pretty fucking fast too. So that's another thing. I wonder, are they going to implement the rails that they have in this season, right? So like I would imagine it's in first person, however they do it, and your character might be moving like super fast, to make it hard to aim and make it like actually competitive instead of just standing there. I don't know. Like
another aspect is this one is one of the few that's not physically done, but just like virtually. It's almost like VR. Like you're still doing it, but you're not doing it.
Well,
we watched the Taekwondo one. The Taekwondo one was you're actually doing Taekwondo, but you're not actually fighting the person.
Unless it's like that arena that Regiment's doing right now for the 3-year anniversary at the EVA. That video. Did you see Chris's video on that? It's like this giant arena with an open room. That's like a giant QR code, and there's like 20 people walking around with like shouldered shoulder controllers that are, you know, they look like rifles, and they have a VR
I only saw
headset.
the still image.
What?
I only saw the thumbnail.
You didn't see the video?
I didn't watch it.
So he posted a video. It's like 2 minutes long of people just running around this arena with VR shit on, and it's like the AI, the VR thing shows like an actual arena with like structures and obstacles and stuff, but it's an open room, right?
So it's like augmented reality, essentially.
Pretty much. I almost wonder if they're going to do something like that, because it's going to have to require some kind of physical thing. It can't be just like someone like me sitting at a fucking desk with a mouse and keyboard. It's going to have to be like a shoulder, like a VR thing.
I've never seen anything like that for Fortnite, though.
Yeah, it's not hard to do, I imagine.
I'm sure they've been working on it for a while, and it's just been announced. I'm sure they've got it, and this is like the grand, like, and this could launch a whole new level of Fortnite. I mean, look how far this game's come.
Yeah.
In a few years. You know, they could do this and be like, oh, and you know, after the Olympics, I'll be like, by the way, you want to do this at home?
I say this every time. I wish Activision cared about Call of Duty like Epic cares about Fortnite.
That'll never happen. I'm gonna take a piss real quick. I gotta pee. I've been holding it for a minute.
That's good.
Regiment in this podcast is also partnered with BR Paradox. BR Paradox is a company that specializes in custom-built PCs. So if you have an idea for a cool custom-built PC, they can definitely give you the hookup on that. But if you're not in the market for custom PCs, BR Paradox is a wide array of pre-built PCs that you could choose from at great prices. And if you're not in the market right now for a new PC, BR Paradox will definitely hook you up with an optimization. Optimizations take around 10-15 minutes to do, and they're very awesome. I highly recommend them. I had my PC optimized by them, and it's never run smoother since. BR Paradox also has a list of renowned customers ranging from LeBron James, Chris Brown, members of FaZe Clan, and even Angela White from your favorite orange and black site, if you know what I mean. So head on over to brparadox.com to get yourself a PC today or an optimization. And remember to use promo code REGIMENT at checkout. That's promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout. What happened?
I walk into my bathroom and my toilet, you know, like when it's refilling the water.
Yeah.
Since the first bathroom break, I'm talking about ChatGPT, it's just been rolling water, cycling it through, dude. I go in there, I lift up the toilet seat, and it's just like, and there's like fucking toilet water all over the fucking like underside of my seat, and the fucking lid just soaked. And I pick up the back to like fix the chain. It just needed to like jiggle the handle to put the plunger down or whatever. And I put the thing back, and it's been rolling so much, the top of the fucking like back thing had water all over it. So I put it back. I look down, there's water all over the top of my fucking toilet. That's why the door was open, and I was standing there for so long, because I was cleaning up fucking toilet water off my...
So I heard you correctly when you said, I'm so pissed right now.
Yes. You know, it pissed me off. I walked in there, because I'm walking back over there, because I just can't hear it with the headphones on, and I just hear... I'm like, is someone pissing in my toilet? I'm like, no one can get in here unless they come through this door. And it's just rolling water. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You have the master bedroom?
So I have a fun...
no, both of our rooms are the same size.
I have a fun toilet story.
But do you have the bathroom?
Yeah, well, so does he.
Oh.
So like they're like copies. They're carbon copies of each other with a fat living room in the middle.
What are you, in the barracks or something?
No, I'm in this apartment.
So I have a fun toilet story. So I just got home, right? And my ex had a friend that had a surprise birthday party. So I'm at the house, and we're all kind of drinking and hanging out, and I'm smoking a cigar and shit. And then I'm like, I have to take a massive shit. So I go into the bathroom, and there wasn't a sign on the door that said, you can't shit in this bathroom. Apparently the toilet didn't work very well, so you can only pee in it. If you were going to take a shit, you had to go to the upstairs bathroom. So I'm in there, and I take a massive shit, and I flush, and I'm watching the water just rise. And I'm like, God damn it. I didn't think I'd shit that much, but okay. So I'm trying to plunge this toilet, and it doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going. And I'm like panic plunging. I'm like, oh God, no. Oh God. And it's just, then it overflows with my shit and everything all over the bathroom floor. And this bathroom's attached to the bedroom. And I'm up there. And then I didn't know this, but downstairs, they were asking, "Where's Brock?" And then my ex is like, "Oh, he's going to the bathroom." I'm like, "He's using the upstairs bathroom, right?" And they were in the basement. And she's like, "Yeah." And as soon as that happened, the water started coming down into the basement on top of the party. Mind you, this is my first time meeting these people.
Oh no.
So my shit water is leaking down onto the party into the basement. And then the whole party came upstairs, and I'm panic. I like ran outside to get their son. I'm like, "Hey, toilet's overflowing. I can't stop it. I need your help." I tried turning the water off and it wouldn't work. The valve was broken. So I'm like relentlessly trying to plunge to get this thing to stop. It wouldn't stop. And it just like kept flowing more and more water. My shit's on the floor, water's on the floor. And then the whole party comes up to the bathroom and is watching me like trying to like panic plunge this toilet. And the mom was like, "You can't shit in this toilet. What the fuck?" I'm like, "There's no fucking sign." So me and this guy, the guy that owns the house, I had to like roll my sleeve up and put my arm into the shit water and reach into the drain to try to fucking find the clog and pull it out. So I'm using their shower towels and everything to clean up my crap and my water and the water on the floor. And I've got myself shoulder deep in my own shit water trying to unclog it. And then
how big of a turd was this?
It wasn't though. I'm about to tell you why this happened. So one, the toilet was already bad. It was broken. Like the piping in it wasn't strong enough. It was
just set up for failure.
It was. You have no idea. So apparently, before me, someone used that bathroom and flushed baby wipes. So the guy that owned the house went up there with a Roto-Rooter and pulled out a bunch of baby wipes. So somebody went in that bathroom before me, which you can't shit in because the plumbing is bad, and they flushed baby wipes in that toilet. And I just so happened to be the next person to use it, and I took a shit. And as soon as I was done, I looked at my ex and I was like, "We have to leave. As soon as we fix this, we must leave." I just met these people. This is their first time meeting me. And their first impression of me is I destroyed their toilet and leaked shit water all over their surprise birthday party. And there's poop on the floor. I'm using their bath towels to clean up the poop and water. And it was, oh my God, it was the most horrifying experience. It's like the most panic that I've ever felt in my life was during this, because it was just water coming everywhere. And it was like soaking their bedroom carpet.
Have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's shit everywhere. There's shit all over the walls.
Bob said, "There's shit. There's shit everywhere.
Shit everywhere." Hey, I hope you're not using that toilet. It doesn't work.
And but they didn't. Dude, they had no sign or nothing saying that not to use that toilet and to use the upstairs toilet.
It was their fault. No,
honestly, yeah, I even said, because they like the wife was yelling at me, and I'm like, "You have no sign. There's nothing here saying that not use this bathroom." So I'm just gonna. I have to crap. I have to use the toilet that is in front of me, and normally it sucks, because normally when I go shit somewhere that I've never shit before, I do a test flush to kind of see what I'm working with. And I didn't do it at the time. Didn't do that this time.
Do you do that because of this incident?
No, I did. I usually did it before. Like I would always try it, because I'm like, I don't want to clog someone's toilet, so I would test flush to kind of see, like, what kind of pressure I'm working with. And I didn't do it this one time, and it just so happened to be the time that I didn't do it, disaster struck. And it was, oh my God, it was the fucking worst experience ever. I promise after that, dude, I test flush every fucking toilet now. Never again will I ever let myself be in a situation like this. It was the worst, most embarrassing thing in my life. So
the only reason that Brock has soap in his basement bathroom is because of his wife.
That's not true.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, well, did you know Doc sits when he pees?
I knew it was coming to this. I knew it was coming. I knew the moment we brought toilets into the conversation. Yes, because it's easier. It's better on the bladder. You release all of your urine, and you're not getting your. I'm not doing this.
No, keep going.
We do this every single time.
The reason
I'm not
he
gonna
told
lie.
me,
it's a choice, and it's easier. I don't have to clean anything.
Yeah, he's got like 4 urethras because he pisses everywhere. He says, "I do it as a courtesy so I don't get pee everywhere." He's like,
the splashback is.
He's like, I don't want to get pee everywhere. I'm like, do you like fucking just like shake it around while you pee? Like what the fuck you mean you don't want to get it everywhere?
I do.
You're like Danny McBride in fuck, what's the movie? This Is the End. When he's talking about him jerking off all over the place, and he's like, "I have a particular explosive ejaculate.
I have a particular explosive ejaculate.
I just have to hold on and pray to God none gets in my eyes or mouth."
Oh my god! What were you gonna say before Doc interrupted you?
I don't even
about him sitting when he pees.
Oh no! I was gonna say I was gonna say I've thought about starting to do that at least in the mornings right after waking up, because I'm like standing there like one eye open, like trying to wake up. And then most of the time, I get a little piss on the seat, on the rim, and I'm like, I gotta clean up now.
I do it because it's easier, and I've read that when you sit, you can actually all of your urine goes out because your body is relaxed. There's a muscle that partially pinches your urethra when you're standing, and you don't let out all of that urine. But when it opens, you're letting bacteria in there, and then you're also keeping that bit of urine in your bladder, and it can increase infection more.
Or you just like to sit when you pee. Let's be honest.
What if?
And it's easier.
Do you like? What if you're out in the woods? Do you sit down? Do you like hold?
No, that's different. That's not the same. If I have a urinal, why am I gonna sit?
I mean, if you're gonna talk about medical,
at
least do it all the time. No. You can't spew medical benefits.
No. If I'm in a
he's not wrong.
Place,
he's not wrong.
Place, I don't trust that toilet seat. If I'm at somebody else's house, one, I do it because I don't. Maybe I've got like, you ever seen those faucet streams where it's like sprays out the side? Maybe this is one of those times. I don't want to deal with that. Then you got splashback. When you're pissing in the water, little sprinkles of piss go places.
Pee on the beach. You got to pee in the corner of the beach and the water. It's the perfect place to piss into a toilet. It's the corner of the water and the beach of the toilet. It minimizes splash.
The beach.
It's also the silent way to pee.
Like you have the water and then you have like the bowl. You got to pee.
No,
it's
I
called
understand.
the beach. You pee on like the corner of the water and the bowl. Where the
I've never heard of this term. I know what you're talking about, but the term threw me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that actually causes more splashback.
Nah,
it creates less noise.
Do you piss like a fire hydrant?
He's got to, dude.
No, like you have like this insane pressure behind it.
We need to, dude. Speaking of like putting in AI into people and shit, when that happens, we need to put a valve on your dick so that way you can like manage your stream, so you're not just pissing in your face and it's splashing back up into your mouth. Apparently, is what's happening to you.
I just imagine him pissing all over my floor and stuff. I'm like, you sit so you don't like fucking like piss on my floor? Like, what the fuck?
I'm just gonna start. Anytime I'm at your house now, I'm just gonna start pissing everywhere.
I'd rather you just sit when you pee and make fun of you for it. So Blake, whenever you were on field operations, I have to ask this to everybody, especially if you're infantry. Did you wear underwear in the field?
Yes, but I would take one pair. I just wear one pair.
The whole time?
The entire time. Did
you ever go commando?
You're a fucking heathen.
I would always. Well, there's no showers, so what I would do, I would always use baby wipe. I use baby wipe every morning. Get my area. Do all that shit. No, that's a lie. I would take, if I knew we were gonna get like soaking wet, like if it was like gonna be around water most of the time, I'd take some extra underwear.
How long in the field are we talking here?
I've probably gone a good week, 2 weeks. Same undies. Dirty ass.
I don't wear underwear in field or deployments.
Twitter's already said that you're alone on this one.
I'm not alone on this one. There are a percentage of guys that don't. Like
you're not alone on this one at all.
You lost this battle though,
dude. I'm sure people didn't want to vote, but like I didn't wear underwear whenever I went on field operations because we'd be gone for like months, and I would like extra underwear is I would bring underwear for when we weren't in the box or doing any kind of training, but I would pack it and leave it in my fucking A bag, which is like
grunt roll.
The grunt. See, okay, with what I was doing, I would have a lot of equipment. Like I'd have extra radio, extra batteries, extra all kinds of shit. I only had so much space to work with, so I didn't bring underwear. Plus, I don't want to keep putting my dirty skivvies in the bag. I didn't want to carry that shit with me, so I would just not wear any.
That's why you have a Walmart bag. You can separate them.
Plus, when you can't shower for fucking days or weeks,
no, you tie it off.
Well, plus when you can't shower for days or weeks, it's easier to clean yourself and then not worry about like some fucking underwear rotting to you, pretty much, you know? So
then you just get your uniform rotting to you.
no, you can wash that pretty easily. And on top of that, uniform doesn't seem to carry the stench the way the fucking shitty underwear does. I'm telling you, like the commando thing, like it feels weird for the first
You ever
like hour.
smelled your uniform after coming out of the
Oh,
field? Or
yeah,
after, like,
of
a
course I
long-ass
have.
hike?
The thing
After you
with
take
it,
a
though, is,
shower.
like, as
And
far as
then
like
smell it.
as far as smells concerned, like everyone's body starts to stink at the same rate. So like you don't really smell it. I never smelled like anyone in the field until we
you
would
don't,
get
'cause you know
back
it's
and
lying.
I'd get into the barracks where like air is a little bit more fresher and not around everybody. And it would every single time I took off my pants to get in the shower, just a wave of like, and then just fucking.
You ever
But
like
that was
you just
everyone.
throw it
That
on
was
the
all my friends, huh?
You just throw it on the floor. You take a shower and then you come out and you smell the uniform. It's the worst. It's the fucking worst.
It's
See,
all bad.
But the
It's
thing
all
is, like when you have that shit on you, you don't smell it, but you feel it. You feel the grossness of it. And I don't like the way that feels, so I just don't wear any because it's like for me, it's like there's a lot of airflow for not wearing that shit. It's not as constricting. And it's easier to clean. You can just drop trowel, baby wipe, pull them back up.
Did you you were Army. When it came to access to the crotch, was it zipper or buttons?
Buttons.
Did you in the field, did you ever button your buttons? In
Yeah.
the crotch area, or
Yeah.
did you leave them unbuttoned?
I button them.
I always left mine unbuttoned.
That's an interesting one. Why?
I always left mine unbuttoned for quick access because, like I was telling you earlier, like when I gotta pee, and I'm gonna go, and like especially in the winter. In the winter, when my hands were extremely numb, I can't feel it, and especially if I have like full kit on, I can't see it. So it was just easier to just be able to just know that I've got access and I don't have to deal with buttons. Just stick my hand in.
It's not like you could see it.
Pull it out and go for it. Don't come at me right now about this.
Shitting in the field was another challenge, though. I learned how to use my tool as a toilet seat. So you dig a hole and you fold your tool up and you could sit one cheek on, and then you have a toilet seat. You don't have to like squat shit or nothing.
I heard about that trick, but I was always scared that I was gonna like fall off of it.
Oh, you
Or
absolutely
slice
will not
yourself.
fall off of it. Those things are strong, a lot stronger than people think they are. But I promise you, like when I went back in,
Well, you guys get good equipment. The Marines get the second hand.
you get the shit that we don't
equipment.
use anymore. But yes, when I went back in, I showed all of my guys how to fucking use their tool, and they're like, "Sergeant, this is like the best fucking thing ever." And I'm like, I told you,
Dude,
you change your field experience.
You know what there needs to be? I'm sure it's already a thing, and I've just never was cared to look into it. But like an easy like fold up toilet seat, right? Where it's like it just gives you enough that you can sit on and shit in the woods, but it's small, like you can compact it and fold it enough to stick like in the side of your main pack.
I'm sure there is.
And light enough to where it's not really gonna fuck with weight, you know?
I'm sure there has to be something like that.
There has to.
Has
There
to
is.
be.
If there's not, we're making it.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, you're
It's
looking
the
at it?
Insta Privy toilet chair.
Yeah.
Insta Privy.
It's
I
like-
need to see this.
It's like one of them looks like a foldable chair, but it's a toilet seat.
Insta Privy toilet kit.
Or no, Oison camping toilets portable.
Camping.
Dude, there's like many different. There's like a $70 version of this that has a whole fucking tent.
Google tactical toilet seat, and it'll be the third one that's at the top. It looks like a foldable chair almost, but it's just a toilet seat.
So
$27.99
Oh, yeah.
on Amazon.
I see it. I fucking see it. Look at that.
interesting.
$27.99 on Amazon.
Well, here's
There
the
you go,
thing.
guys.
When it comes to shit like this, if you thought about it, someone's already made it. What is this thing? Rojo toilet seat? What the fuck is this?
Why is there balls on it?
I don't know. And why is it almost $250?
Oh, it's a medical thing.
What?
It's for like.
Oh, you
hemorrhoids.
put
It's
it
probably
on the.
something
Oh,
specific.
it sits on the toilet seat. I see. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? And how do you use it? That's fucking weird. The InstaPrivy, though, I was looking at that. There's like a fucking retractable tent that you can put into like look at this thing. It's like $70. Fold up tent with a little shitter bucket. And
basically.
It's a portable
There's like
kit.
a privacy tent that you can get to that just like goes over you. And you just take a shit and then you just like fold that bitch back up.
Hey babe, we should take this to us with babe. We should take this with us to Norway. It's a fold. It folds up like this, and it's a toilet seat. It's a whole fucking.
Throw the bag away.
It's a
Just
private
throw the bag of
shitter.
shit away.
I just came across a travel car toilet. You put it in the seat where people sit, and it is a toilet seat.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Put it in.
What's it called?
Chat.
I'm about to. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the link. Copy image link. There it is. It's in the chat.
Oh my god!
There's no space for shit in that.
Look at this, babe. Look at this. She's watching something.
There's no
She's
space
like,
for shit in that thing.
I know. I want it.
The turd would be touching your ass the whole time.
Hang on. I gotta. Do you have the link besides the image?
Car gonna smell like shit.
Look at that.
How did we get on this topic? Where did we come from?
You put that in your. You ride in the car with that. Can you imagine? Like, what are you doing back there? Just fucking shitting in the toilet.
Guys, how did we get here? We went from Fortnite being in the esports, and now we're looking up like tactical toilets.
I remember my toilet was doing the weird thing, and then we started.
That's where it was. That's how we got here.
In the field.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's how we got here.
There's
Yo, I'm telling you,
more.
we are squirrel as fuck.
There's more. There's
Oh,
other
that's it.
ones, other versions of this. This one's weird. There's an actual toilet for a seat. And it has an
That
open
sounds opposite.
contraption where you just sit in. Of course, it's an Asian country that did this. Looks like Japan.
You just
That was
squat.
the same. That was the same with the car toilet.
You know,
Yeah.
speaking of Asian countries, have you guys ever used a bidet?
Oh yeah, dude.
No.
Yeah.
You've never you were in Japan and you never used a bidet?
Mm-mm.
You've never had a nice stream of water just hit your asshole?
Nope.
Just wash all the shit away?
Mm-mm.
You've never felt so clean in your life, bro.
Dude,
You never
a
want to go
bidet
back.
is awesome. It'll change your life. Promise.
I believe it. Everyone's told me that. I need to find one.
You
You
can,
can get them.
Amazon
You can
it.
get them for like what,
What?
$30, and just
Yeah.
clip it on the side of your toilet.
You have
really
to
want one?
install it, because it has to be connected to the pipe. Yeah.
Alicia's like, how come if they're so great, why haven't we gotten one? Because I don't know how to really. I don't really want to put it together.
That's 100% why I don't have one. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck up and I'm gonna have water everywhere, and my apartment is gonna be like, you can no longer live here.
All right, let's before we go into the next topic, Blake, you have any fun Marine Corps stories?
Or
Like,
stupid
what's the dumbest shit you've ever seen one of your fucking Marines do?
or done.
Or what is the dumbest shit you've done as a Marine? That's another one.
Damn, that's a good question. Oh, I would say right now the thing I can think about that is the dumbest thing I've seen was someone intentionally jump off second deck, and they like chipped. I think they chipped their tailbone or fucked up their vertebrae somehow. Like, but they intentionally jumped off second deck while we were out drinking. What's the dumbest thing I've done? I've got a good drinking story.
Spill it.
So there I was, Iceland.
There I was. So I started blasting.
Started blasting.
No shit. There it was.
So we went out and we found this bar called Dylan's Whiskey Bar, and we went there every single night while we were there, to the point that like the bartenders knew who we were and would give us happy hour all night. They were like, since you're here every day, you can have happy hour all night. All y'all are cool and very nice. We're like, cool, thank you. This one night, we go out, and if you've never been to Iceland, drinks are extremely expensive. Like, one beer is like $12.
Holy
Was this
fuck.
when we drank all of the beer there?
Yes, yeah, I was there for that.
Good to know, because we're going to Iceland and Norway this year. So
Yeah. So we were like, hey, let's go to the liquor store and go get the cheapest bottle of cheapest personal bottle we can find. Sadly, the cheapest bottle we could find was Jaeger.
Oh,
so we all bought a personal bottle of Jaeger. And then we stick it in our back pockets and we head over to Dylan's Whiskey Bar. We sit down, we buy a beer. And then there were 3 of us, and we one by one go into the bathroom and chug the entire bottle.
Good Lord.
And come back out.
What the fuck? Okay.
So we all did that. I remember that first beer. And that's it. Up until we were walking into this restaurant called it's like the American Bar and Grill or something like that. So for anyone that hasn't left the country, anyone listening, yes. Like we have Chinese food, other countries have American food. And it's all like burgers and fries. Yep. And it sadly doesn't compare, though, to actual.
I was going to say, none of it's good either.
The portions are nowhere near where it needs to be.
And it never tastes the exact same either.
No. Anyway, I'm sure every other person from other countries come here and they think the same thing. Anyway, we go in there, and we had apparently linked up with some other people that night. And they had this big wheel behind the bar that you could pay to spin the wheel and win drinks. So we paid, we spun it, we won nothing. And these guys that we were with, this one sailor we were with, he was like, I fucking like you guys. You guys are cool as shit. I'll pay for y'all's next spin, and you could keep all the winnings. We're like, cool. Thanks.
Was this part of a MEU?
No, we were doing a
special MACTAF?
It was like a 2-month exercise. It was a NATO exercise that we were doing. And anyway, so he bought us another wheel spin, and they spin it, and we got the max prize, which was 6 beers for 3 of us. So we all got 2 more beers for like
Wait,
5,
I think
it was like
6
total.
total?
6 total beers for 3 of us. So we all had 2. I think it was like 500 kronen. So we got like 6 beers for $5 essentially. And then we're sitting at the table. It's all fuzzy for me. Oh, almost forgot. When we hit the 6 beers, I got so excited. I raised my fists up, and I punched a glass right above me and shattered it all over the bar. And I was freaking out. I was like, I'm about to get us thrown out. And I was like pleading with the bartenders, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Like, da da da. And they're like, give me your hand. And I was like, no, they're throwing me out. And they're like, give me your hand. Give them my hand. I have no cuts on it. Some fucking how. And they're like, okay, no, we just want to make sure you're okay. We don't give a fuck about the glass. I'm like, I'll pay for it however much. They're like, I don't give a fuck. Just glad you're cool. Cool, thanks. We go sit down at the table. We're like screaming fucking random shit. I don't even really remember.
You guys was
probably a bunch of rah, 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 rah.
We were doing that. What was it? Big Mouth. Did any of y'all watch Big Mouth?
Fuck yeah.
Back in the day?
No.
Back in the day, it's a pretty new show.
The Shame Wizard. Well, I mean, before it got like too crazy. Now I can't stomach watching that show anymore. But the Shame Wizard. Do y'all remember the Shame Wizard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were sitting there screaming, the Shame Wizard, for like an hour. No reason, but we had just watched season 2. And then I am like, I gotta go use the restroom, and I go to the restroom to like try to puke, and I end up falling asleep on the toilet, like with my head on the toilet. And then I wake up to them like banging on the door. They're like, Blake, get up, we gotta go.
So you fell asleep after puking, probably didn't flush the toilet.
Oh, no, I didn't puke. I couldn't puke.
Okay. So you just like falling asleep on that wonderfully clean toilet with toilet smell just all up in your face.
Well, my arm was on it. Like my head was on my arm.
I've been here before.
Anyway, so I'm like taking a nap, right? And they're like, we got to get out of here. And I'm like, oh, they'll never know. I get up, and I'm like washing my hands, and they're like, dude, where have you been? I was like, I was taking a shit. They're like, bullshit, you've been gone like half an hour. And I was like, oh. And they're like, anyway, we have to get back to ship now. So just bunch of hammered fucks sprinting through the streets of Iceland trying to make it back to the bus. We get there as they're like closing the doors for the last bus to get back to ship. And then made it back to ship. Oh, and then later that night, a gunny walked into our berthing and was like, shut up, all of you, you're being too loud. And I was like, ah. And he's like, oorah, what? And I went, Fayut, kill, and then like passed out in my bed, and apparently looked at like the NCO in charge at the time and was just like, fix him. And he was like, we got him, Gunny. He was from Trax. I didn't know who this guy was. He was in civvies. How the fuck am I supposed to know he's a gunny? And he got all butthurt about it.
That sounds like a gunny thing. Sounds like a senior NCO issue. You should know who we had the sergeant major of the Army come to our base once. And
I mean, I feel like you should know who the sergeant major of the Army is, though.
Well, here's the thing. He came to Italy and he came to the gym and he interrupted some fucking dude working out, and he tapped him, and he looked at him, and he told him to take his headphones out, and he took his headphones out. I was like, what would you do? What would you suggest about, improving the PT of your soldiers and the physical fitness of your soldiers? Like, I don't fucking know, dude. And he put his headphone back in and continued working out. And the dude, Sergeant Major, fucking pulled everybody into the gym, saying that people should know who their chain of command is and know how to address them and stuff. I'm like, well, you interrupted a guy in the middle of a workout, and you're in civilian clothing, and the guy probably doesn't really give a fuck about who you are, or because it's weird. You see their pictures in the battalion buildings and shit, but when you see them in person, they almost look a little different.
Well, you never expect to actually meet them.
Right. That's the other thing. The sergeant major of the Army, what the fuck is he doing in this small base in Italy? And most of the time
they all look like everybody else.
And they look like everybody else, and that's the other thing. They look like everybody else, and that's why they also look a bit different, because out of uniform, you don't really recognize them. And this dude was out of uniform, just approaching a guy in a gym in the middle of his set and interrupting him and saying, "What would you do to improve the physical fitness of your soldiers?" He's going to be like, "I don't fucking know. Get away from me." And then he got so pissed off about it. I'm like, such a senior. And this is the same guy that tried banning tattoos in the Army. He was like, the ban was based off of his wife's suggestion. He was like, how do we improve the readiness of our soldiers? And his wife was like, ban tattoos to maintain the professionalism. So any tattoos from fucking elbow down were banned. And if you already had them, you had to get grandfathered in, but you were barred from commissioning. And shit.
I was actually greenside when the Navy allowed us to get full sleeve tattoos, and the Marines could still only get they couldn't be bigger than their hand. So I come in the fucking work after a weekend, half sleeve, my first portion of my whole sleeve from my elbow all the way down done. And they're like, "Wow, Doc, must be fucking nice." I'm like, hey, some of us make better decisions.
It's
the Army that we joined.
The Army tried doing the whole Marine Corps thing with the sizing of tattoos and tattoo placement and shit, and it was the dumbest thing because they implemented it, saying that they weren't no longer taking new soldiers that had these tattoos, and the ones that were grandfathered in were barred from being commissioned officers after that. And then it was just why is this a thing? Why are we rolling this out now? I remember they were pulling everybody that had tattoos into the fucking company area to take pictures of the tattoos and annotate them and shit. And then,
you know what I bet?
He retired, and a new sergeant major came in and reversed that whole fucking thing.
I bet you part of that is because of recruiting numbers, and I foresee that happening. I bet beards are coming. If you're at for us, a shore command, but if you're in a specific type of command or somewhere where you're going to be allowed to have a certain length of beard or something, I see that happening.
Probably
because of retention numbers and because of recruiting numbers.
I mean, they already have beard waivers. They already have beard waivers for religious things.
Something.
I mean, fucking Blake wouldn't be able to have his beard at that length with the new beard regs.
Yeah,
even with a religious waiver.
I could like you live in the mountains and have no electricity and have never heard of a
come
comb.
on, it's groomed. It's groomed. It looks good.
I mean, you can have anyone can own a comb.
Yeah, well,
beard combs are not the same. Beard brushes, they're not the same.
I actually don't use a comb or brush in my beard.
I have to, otherwise it just starts going in every single direction.
Fucking animal.
Mm-hmm. I just do this a lot. Stroke it.
So
it almost look like you're trying to look at someone and be like, "Hey, girl, when you come get a beard ride?"
Sheesh.
Never again. Never again.
Oh, I miss the old TikTok days. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Discord and their stupid changes that they're making us do now. So you hear about this?
Musically. That's what I miss.
Musically? I don't know what the fuck
Back when it was cringe and it was like watching a car wreck that you just couldn't look away from. Now there's actual legitimate videos and I hate it.
So, Blake, did you see this shit about Discord?
I did not.
So, Discord is forcing everyone to change their usernames now.
Not yet, but they will be.
The way they're rolling this out is dumb. So
yeah,
concerns
it's so stupid.
Concerns are already being raised over privacy and impersonation because now they're getting rid of the hashtag number identifier and they're just doing it like the @ symbol on your name. So Discord,
you can have, it's like how Activision has it to where you can have the same name as somebody. The main thing that really matters is the number. That's what's tied to your account is that number.
As a moderator for Regiment's Discord, it's going to be really hard to like determine if that's the actual person or if that's somebody pretending to be them to try to get them kicked out of Reg. So RG. So Discord has announced that it will be making some pretty sweeping changes to its username system over the coming weeks in an effort to try to make connecting with friends easier. To do this, Discord has explained that it will be removing everyone's discriminators, which are the 4-digit numbers that are displayed next to usernames, and will be replacing them with unique usernames and display names. Unfortunately, this means that pretty much everyone on the platform will soon be invited to change their username to one without a discriminator, eventually becoming a requirement if you want to continue using Discord. For many people,
so only one person can be named something.
No, it didn't say that.
That's what that means, though.
So it's going to be
because
like YouTube's.
So it's like how Twitch has it. If you have that name on Twitch, nobody else can have that name. That username is taken.
Oh,
that's what this issue is.
That's going to be great. Eventually, so for many people, this will be as simply entering your existing username and you're all good to go. But there's currently a large number of people upset about the change. For starters, many are worried that this change could lead to impersonation on a mass scale. And there's a possibility people could change their usernames to existing ones. So this won't be helped by the fact that the change isn't being rolled out all at once. Instead of giving everyone the ability to change their username at the same time, Discord is rolling out the change gradually, like YouTube did. Basically, so Blake, did you see this with the YouTube thing?
Mm-mm.
So they allowed you to, you didn't have to change your YouTube handle. They just allowed you to change.
You could have the URL.
You can, it allowed you to make a username that would be embedded to your URL instead of a random YouTube code. But
you had to have a certain number of followers to be able to do that.
But and now they're letting everybody do it, but they rolled it out so gradually that you could it was like only one person could have that name, so it was first come first serve. So like for us, for me, mine's Blacklisted Gaming, right? But because the way it rolled out, somebody already took Blacklisted Gaming, so I had to get creative with making it like mine. So like, let's say for yours, OutofRegsTV, when they rolled it out, somebody else can get OutofRegsTV, and then you would have to come up with a new creative way to make it yours. Because it's super annoying because it's a first come first serve basis. So Discord is rolling out the change gradually, allowing people with older accounts to change their usernames before those who set up their accounts more recently. Now, older part, I don't really understand how old, like super old or how recent. Again, not much of an issue for most people.
Have a cutoff date.
Probably. So there's also the issue of privacy, as many online figures have private Discords in which they can hang out and talk to friends. Getting rid of discriminators and replacing it with a unique username system means creators are now faced with either having to use their online presence as a username or have their private spaces easily viewed or risk being impersonated. It's a pretty baffling and fairly unnecessary change, and one that hasn't gone down well with the majority of Discord users. If there's enough negative backlash, then it's possible that Discord could reverse this decision, since it hasn't actually implemented any changes just yet. But consider this your warning that you'll be required to change your name in Discord as soon as it goes through.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It really is, because it doesn't need to be a thing. You know?
Yeah, there's no reason. It's just like a hey.
They're saying that the reason why is to make it easier to connect with people, which on one hand, yes, I could see, because it is kind of a pain in the ass to find people on Discord. But on the other hand, that's kind of the point. Like, some people don't want their Discord to be so easily found.
Yeah.
You know, but now you're making it easier for them to find you and making it easier for people to like pretend to be you.
Yeah.
And
if someone really needs to know who you are, they're gonna know the code.
Right.
Like, they're gonna give you the code and say, this is how you can find me. Like,
I want to know. I'm curious. I'm thinking of this one way. I'm wondering if it's not how Twitch is, to where only one person gets that username, but anyone can have that username. They just get rid of the numbers afterwards. And I think that is where the concern could be from.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, it's just a matter of if you have that, like being first come, first serve to get that username, because then that's not as big of an issue. So thinking about it, I think they're just getting rid of those numbers to where, like, if I want to have Tim the Tap Man, I can impersonate Tim the Tap Man because you don't have those numbers anymore to tell who the real one is. So
and you could change your
picture,
photos and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's where the true concern is coming from.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what
I was thinking of it a different way. I was thinking of it like they were getting rid of because they were getting rid of the numbers. I was thinking, oh, okay, so they're making it to where first come,
Only
first
one
serve with that
person can have the
username. Yeah. But now I get it.
No, it's like they're just getting rid of the numbers, so there's no way to tell the difference between them.
Because I was thinking, like, when Kick came out, it was just like Twitch, where people were going over to Kick to get their username so it would be the same, so it wouldn't be taken. Because people have done this to where if you got the Kick and created a username first of like a bigger streamer that's more well known, that's your name now. You're the one that registered it.
Here's the thing with Kick. Kick has also had a few articles or a few incidents where people's usernames were changed by Kick and given that username to a person with more popularity. So if you had there was a couple of people that came out and were saying like Kick changed told me like they changed my username and gave it to somebody else and told me that I have to figure out a new one.
They probably have it copyrighted.
No,
some creators will copyright their name.
Some will. I mean, I really should copyright mine. Not that it fucking matters, but like, I want to copyright mine because if you go on YouTube and look up Blacklisted Gaming, you're gonna find like 5 before you find mine, and most of them are just very like there's nothing there.
I'm already search engine optimized.
Okay, good to know. I mean, Blake's already search engine optimized. I'm sure if you Google him right
on
now,
TikTok. Bet you can't find him on TikTok.
No shit. We're gonna have to. You really want to keep rubbing that in on this guy, don't you? You're such an asshole. Moderator role revoked.
I'm the only mod that does anything in his stream.
The only?
No, that's not true. You have.
You have to be shitting me.
What?
If you look up OutofRegsTV in Google, my TikTok is there with all of my fucking videos.
No,
as if you can go look at them, but if you click on it, it's not going to let you do anything.
Right? Oh yeah, it does. That's
but they're still there.
I was confused by this too. I'm like, why is the TikTok one showing? And then you go to click on it, it says couldn't find this profile. Very interesting.
That's fucked up.
But you're like it's right there. Your YouTube's there. Your link tree is there. Your TikTok, actually, yeah, OutofRegsTV. Your TikTok is right here. Let me click on that.
What the hell?
The videos are here.
No, they're fucking not.
You think if I went to a Navy recruiter looking like this, they'd let me
You
join?
can watch them?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Video? Oh, on Bing videos?
No, I'm on TikTok right now looking at it.
What the fuck, dude?
All
of my videos are on Bing, dude.
Hang on. Okay, so going to your profile, no, but the stitched videos are there.
Recruiter?
There's a stitch to videos?
Yeah.
No, when people stitch my videos.
When people stitch his videos, it's there.
Oh.
Dude, go. If you scroll down, see videos of OutofRegsTV, bing.com/videos.
Let me look. So there's Facebook.
So Bing
Twitch,
has them all.
Apple.
Every single one is there.
Bing? On Bing?
On Bing. If you go to Bing videos and you look up OutofRegsTV, every single one of my TikToks is there.
And then go to videos?
Yeah.
Bing videos.
And do they all
It's
work?
my entire TikTok page.
Do they all work?
Oh, fuck. Damn it. They're TikTok links. Fuck. Because I hover over it and it plays. But when I click it, it doesn't let me
Let's try
see
it.
it in the app.
But if you click,
What if I download it?
No. So if you click the audio, it plays the audio too.
The fuck?
So
that means your videos are still on TikTok.
They just no one
place
can
of
access
living
them.
and
So they're just holding my videos.
Yeah, so right now I'm hovered over it and I unmute
buddy
it.
of mine in the same community. Anyway, they were like,
Yeah, it'll play the whole thing. It even shows your clips. All your videos are still showing up here.
Oh, I forgot about my Marine Doc series that I did. I totally forgot about that shit. That shit was funny as fuck.
It's
I'm
just
sorry.
good training.
I'm sucking my own dick right now.
It's okay. It's okay. Listen, man, it's okay to suck your own dick once in a while.
So hey, if you want to see Blake's TikToks
God
again,
damn
just go to Bing.
Yeah.
Oh, the mustache.
Oops.
That was I fucking hated that because you were always
I
playing with
loved
it.
it.
It looked like you were picking your fucking nose.
Dude, that's because you don't have facial hair to play with, Doc. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand. That's why you don't understand. I play with my beard all the fucking time. My wife's
That's
like,
not the same. No, it's because of what it looks like.
yeah.
But anger.
So on Bing, if you hover over your videos, it literally will play the audio too if you unmute it.
Yeah. I see. Now I'm wondering, can I download them and get all my shit?
Let me look. What is this?
Confidence.
Let me see here. You can save to watch later on Bing, but it don't.
You could
see
probably
an
Google
option.
or hell Bing how to download Bing video links or something.
See now that's a problem. If someone else figures it out and starts downloading all my shit and makes a whole new page, I'm gonna be pissed.
Have you thought about just making a new TikTok?
Yeah, no, I have. I'm like pretty close to just making a new one. But like
that's
I said,
that's
doing
what
it as,
Matt's
like,
all right did. He got banned, and then funny
Yeah.
enough, his old profile got unbanned, so all his old shit is still there, that you could
So
see it.
wait, when did he get banned?
He got this was a while ago. This was like over 6
got
months
banned?
ago. Matt's all right. So
I
his
didn't know he got banned.
his TikTok got banned, and then he made a whole new one because it was the same situation like you, I think, where they wouldn't unban him and they wouldn't give him his shit, so he just made a new one, and then he started because it was like a big deal because as soon as he started getting big, his account got banned, and people were like, "What the fuck did you ban him for? He's all about like all his stuff's talking about like mental health improvement and stuff." And there was nothing really there, and maybe some dark humor because he's with Vet TV and shit. But he made a new account, and everybody went over to that new account, and now his old account is unbanned, and all his videos are there again.
I've heard of some people. Fed Boy Hickbilly? Have you ever heard of him?
No,
I think he had a few million, and his account got banned, and he remade another one. I think it's like 500K now. But we were mutuals on it, and like he just one day he was like, "Well, got my old account back after a year." They finally hit me back up and gave me back my account. So like I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen to me. It's probably 6 months to a year before they come back and they're like, "Oh, sorry, our bad."
and that's probably why a lot of people, when they do get banned and there's no reason behind it, they just make a new one and just keep uploading to the new one and play the waiting game with the old one, and then like when that old one comes back, start uploading it to it again. And I mean, you'll have two fucking
You have to get all the
TikToks.
amount of people that are requesting to get unbanned.
That's
Probably.
That's the
kind
other
of where
thing.
I was like not surprised that I haven't heard anything. This is great. What the fuck is this? Oh, there's a lot of shit.
We should have. That's what drinking will do to you. We should have mandatory fun day on here.
Mandatory fun day.
Yes. So his
You've seen this
character,
video, I guarantee it.
his character Blake.
Yeah, so I tagged you in that, and I was like,
Yeah, he hit me up and he goes, "I want a Marine character. Can I name him after you?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, go for it." So I'm technically in all those videos by name.
Oh, this guy.
Mm-hmm. Love mandatory fun day. What a guy. He really like.
is he an officer?
He's good. Yeah, he is. He's a Mustang. But
Wait, he's an
really good
officer?
at
I thought he was an
social media
NCO.
game. He was sergeant, and then he went green to gold.
Oh, so he was probably like when he was making his TikToks, he was doing green and gold and then commissioned recently, right?
No, he was an officer when he started TikTok.
Oh, so he just wears
think
NCO rank during the TikToks?
Does he? Maybe.
A lot of the
I've never seen him wear NCO rank before.
I almost never see his rank.
you come to find out.
There's that Chief Warrant officer that makes the good ones too.
Dude, officers make a lot of fucking money.
He's like a bald guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're
He
talking
makes
about.
the skits and stuff too.
Actually, TikTok downloader. I wonder if I can like TikTok download it. SnapTik. Okay, let's see if I can go here through Bing and like, where's that JTAC one? That was a good one.
I worked with JTAC so much.
Okay,
Those dudes
copy.
are fucking crazy. They're fun.
Copy link.
Video currently.
Let me do it.
unavailable.
Let me do it. Let me do it. Come on. Fuck, unable to connect TikTok server. Damn, they really put my shit on lock, bro. I can't get any of my shit back.
No, you can't, which fucking sucks. TikTok being TikTok, though.
Just start screen recording everything.
I think I had just hit 1,000 videos made on TikTok when they banned me.
What?
I think I had just hit 1,000 videos made when they banned me.
That's it's very interesting that's. It seems like when people hit milestones is when they actually start throwing bans at people. You ever notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Because like same shit happened with Matt's All Right. He just hit it was like 1 million followers, and then they banned him. It's like whenever you hit a milestone on TikTok, it's like, nope, you're getting too popular on here. It's like, what? And meanwhile, here they are talking to Congress about and everyone's like vouching for the not to get TikTok banned, but meanwhile they'll ban you like it's fucking hotcakes. They don't give a shit.
Dude, it's funny. A week before I got banned, I was like, they better not do this, that, and the third. The second I got banned, I'm like, fuck it, get rid of it.
I'm like, oh, you sons of bitches. Like, here we are. We're siding with you to keep you on fucking U.S. platforms, and you're going to fuck me over. Like, what the fuck, man? It doesn't, they're whole terms of service thing, and it doesn't make sense. And
I'm sorry to interrupt. That squirrel bladder's hitting me hard.
Go for it, dude.
Fuck it. Y'all inspired me.
Do it. I'm telling you, man, fucking do it. Make another TikTok. Like, what are they going to do? Ban your other one? I mean, there's nothing in TikTok saying you can't have more than one. They do it all the time.
Actually, part of it, it's funny. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But part of it was like another reason for people to get permabanned is if you get found out that you made another account to get around a permanent ban. So if they find out that it's you and you've been previously permanent banned, they'll just permaban the other one, no reason. They're like, I know you're just trying to get around it. You're gone.
That's interesting because a lot of people have been doing just that and not got banned. In fact, they got the opposite happened. They got unbanned. Like, so they unban their own. It's like, I wonder if they do it to kind of fuck you on the discovery shit.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just like permaban you, they try to like fuck your exposure by like making it your old account visible again, but you're not aware of it. So that way your shit, when people look you up, there's two accounts there and they don't know which one to follow.
True.
So, I mean, TikTok, China. All right. So our last topic is a very interesting one, and I'm not sure what to think of it. And it's kind of funny because it involves an old buddy of ours, especially in the military, and that is anthrax.
Did you guys ever get the anthrax shots?
Fuck yeah, I got the anthrax shot.
Oh,
We
yeah.
all did.
Did you know that no other country gives the anthrax vaccine except the U.S.? It's actually banned.
I'm sure. I mean, they give
We're
us
the only country. So it's actually been directly linked to like developing diabetes. One of my,
Really?
Oh, cool.
Kyle told me this.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's like, that's how I got it.
Oh, he's diabetic?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did know that because we were talking about drinking, and he's like, I don't drink anymore because I'm diabetic.
And he became diabetic because of the anthrax shot.
Yeah, you can develop diabetes. It's been directly linked. We are literally the only country that still uses the anthrax vaccine.
Fun. So that's with that. So did a military lab spill anthrax into public waterways?
Probably.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. So in 2019, federal lab regulators ordered the prestigious U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Disease, or USARMRID, to halt all work with dangerous pathogens such as Ebola and anthrax, which can pose a severe threat to public health and safety. I didn't guess that at all. Did you know that Ebola and anthrax is a public safety hazard?
No.
I didn't either. You never would have guessed it. So Army officials had assured the public that there was no safety threat indicated and that no pathogens had leaked outside the laboratory. This is like COVID all over again. After flooding in 2018. But a new book released April 25th, investigative reporter Allison Young reveals that there were repeated and egregious safety breaches and government oversight failures at Fort Detrick, Maryland, that preceded the 2019 shutdown. You mean to tell me that there were shortcuts taken in safety to get the operation going? That's not something that happens in the military.
Water in the military.
Never happened.
That's never happened.
What is it with the drinking water in the military? You got Camp Lejeune water. You've got fucking jet fuel on the ships. And now there's an army base that's like, yeah, fuck that water too. We're just going to put anthrax in it. Like, what the fuck?
So this article is adapted from Pandora's Gamble, Lab Leaks, Pandemics, and a World at Risk. Unsterilized laboratory wastewater from the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases at Fort Detrick, Maryland, spewed out the top of a rusty 50,000-gallon outdoor holding tank. The pressure catapulting it over a short concrete wall that was supposed to contain hazardous spills. It was May 25th, 2018, the Friday morning before Memorial Day weekend, and the tank holding waste from labs working with Ebola, anthrax, and other lethal pathogens had become overpressurized, forcing the liquid out to a vent pipe. Can you imagine? Because I've seen an overpressured vent spew liquid, and to think
it's like a fire hydrant.
it's not like, it's like a fucking, you have a pressure cooker?
No.
Okay, so you ever seen a whale use its blowhole?
Yeah.
It's like that, but consistently. It doesn't stop until you make it stop. It's like,
yeah.
And imagine all that shit you see coming out is fucking anthrax and fucking Ebola and whatever else. Probably COVID. This is probably where COVID came from.
That's where COVID came from, right there.
COVID.
So an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 gallons streamed in the grassy area a few feet from an open storm drain that dumps into Carroll Creek, a centerpiece to downtown Frederick, Maryland, a city of about 80,000 and an hour's drive from the nation's capital. From the nation's capital, so D.C. But as the waste sprayed for as long as 3 hours, holy fuck, dude.
A lot of anthrax and Ebola right there.
Records show none of the plant's workers apparently noticed the tank had burst a pipe. This was despite the facility being under a scrutiny from federal lab regulators following catastrophic flooding and an escalating series of safety failures that had been playing out for more than a week. See, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, with the helicopter crashes, safety gets
OSHA
overlooked.
would not be happy.
No, can you imagine OSHA in a military installation?
Like, what is going on here? So many things are wrong here.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of OSHA violations. So before the outdoor tank failed, there had already been breaches of the other lab waste storage tanks inside the sterilization plant. On May 17, 2018, in the wake of devastating storms, workers at Fort Detrick discovered that the plant's basement was filling with water that would reach 4 to 5 feet deep. Some of it was rainwater sweeping from outdoors, but a lot was fluid leaking from the basement's long, deteriorating tanks that held thousands of gallons of unsterilized lab wastewater. God damn.
It's nuts.
As basement sump pumps forced flood water into these tanks, the influx disgorged lab waste through cracks along the tops of the tanks, sending it steaming back toward the floor.
There's no fucking way we can read this entire article. Holy shit.
Is it? Oh, it is long. The steam sterilization plant, referred to as the SSP, was built in 1953. It was designed to essentially cook the wastewater that flowed from Fort Detrick's biological labs, ensuring that all deadly pathogens were killed before the water was released from the base to Monarchy River. But chemical disinfection can be tricky. To be effective, it requires workers to use the right kind of disinfectant in the right concentration, and more importantly, to ensure that the disinfectant remains in contact with the microbes long enough to kill them. Any living organisms left behind could multiply. Despite the plant's importance to protecting public health, in May 2018, it had become rusting, leaking, temperamental hulk. It was 65 years old and was supposed to have been torn down already, but a replacement plant completed at a cost to taxpayers more than $30 million had suffered a catastrophic failure in 2016 and couldn't be repaired. So even though the sterilization plant was significant in disrepair, the Institute still used it, with a much smaller amount of waste coming from the U.S. Department of Agriculture lab, and worked with weeds and plant disease.
The VA is still going to say not service connected?
Correct. On a typical day in 2018, state records, these facilities sent about 30,000 gallons of lab wastewater into the plant, which had about 50,000 gallon storage tanks in its basement, plus an additional 9 interconnected 50,000 gallon storage tanks outside. So 100,000 gallons total of lab wastewater. Fort Detrick officials had been aware for some time that the tops of the aging basement storage tanks had multiple leaks caused over the years of chlorine gases accumulating to the surface of the wastewater, according to a state investigation report of the incident in the Army's garrison responses and questions. So they knew that it had been leaking, and they didn't. I mean, you would think like, hey, what is in this water that's leaking? Anthrax and Ebola. Oh, okay. What? Are you kidding me? You're vaccinated. You're vaccinated. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, you're vaccinated, right? Actually, you're probably not vaccinated against anthrax unless you're going overseas, because that's the only time that you get it, even though we shouldn't be getting it. But
this is fucking crazy, dude.
For sure, I've gotten it.
4 days after the plant flooded, CDC inspectors arrived at Fort Detrick and spent May 21st, 2020, and 22 of 2018 inspecting the facility. As the CDC inspectors left Fort Detrick, they allowed U.S. Armored to resume some research activities. So
cabbage and water all over again.
So the long Memorial Day weekend was coming up, and the weather forecast showed more rain headed towards Frederick. To protect the plant against further flooding, a decision was made to pump the water inside the basement's waste storage tanks into the auxiliary tanks outdoors. The hope was to free up the additional 80,000 gallons of capacity, Fort Detrick said in response to questions. Things didn't go as planned, as they normally don't. Somewhere along the way, an automatic shutoff feature designed to keep the outdoor tanks from overfilling was deactivated, Fort Detrick officials later said in response to questions. It was an employee. It was an employee of the National Cancer Institute, which has a research building at Fort Detrick near the plant, who spotted the wastewater spewing from an... Oh, there's even a picture of this. Oh my God, it's just water dumping. Who spotted wastewater spewing from an outdoor wastewater tank in the containment wall onto a grassy area with an open storm drain inlet that sends runoff to Carroll Creek. So they were watching this water just dump out of this facility, and they're like, that can't be good.
And then they're like, let's take a picture.
Nobody checked the tank until noon.
Quick, take a selfie.
Not for the persistence of the unidentified National Cancer Institute employee, the leak would have been ignored. So this could have gone for days without anybody even seeing it because it was a long weekend.
There's an open storm water inlet too. 2,000 to 3,000 gallons of unsterilized lab water went down it.
That's insanity.
It says the inlet sends water into the Carroll Creek. Oh yeah, we already said that part.
But honestly, it says right here, the photos had got the base's attention. Had it not been for the photos, it never would have fucking gotten anyone's attention. So let's see. Another day passed before anyone alerted state and local authorities. So for a whole ass day, this shit went unattended. So what was a big question, what was in the lab wastewater that spewed out of the tank? Viable organisms like anthrax bacteria had been sent into public waterways. Consequences could be disastrous, of course. So the CDC regulators who allowed them to keep operating despite the jerry-rigged sterilization plant. So they basically had this shit together with duct tape and chicken wire, was what it sounds like. And when people were asking what was in the wastewater, nobody seemed to be looking hard enough to find out. So they were just like, I don't know. It's just water.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, this sounds like one of them government things where the government did something and like exposed a bunch of people to deadly pathogens and then tried covering it up.
That's literally what happened with the ship that had the jet fuel. They knew about that for hours. And people had been drinking it.
Nuts.
People had been drinking it for hours.
Oh, dude, more than that, longer than that.
Comments on the YouTube video from like Gulf War veterans that had been on carriers in like the early 90s and 80s. They were like, yeah, no, that's been a thing for a long time. We used to have to we would hold a lighter up to the drinking fountain to see if it would catch fire to know if it was safe or not.
That is fucking crazy.
How the fuck has this been going on that long?
Because they don't care about us. And then it becomes a problem like years later for the VA, and the VA will be like, we'll try to find a workaround. Just like the burn pit shit. Like how long we've been burning fucking chemicals and other shit in burn pits and like literal shit and breathing that stuff. And now they're starting to really look into it and say, that was not a good idea. No shit. So nothing about burning stuff and breathing in the air that's being burnt is a good idea. It's just like that shit in Ohio. You know, with that train.
Oh yeah.
The train derailment where they decided it'd be a good idea to burn that fucking chemical and end up causing like some kind of chlorine gas and that went up in the atmosphere. And like,
I think there's some conspiracies going on there though.
oh, there's 100% conspiracies going on there. It's yeah, this is a long fucking article.
Where's my tinfoil hat at?
Do you have one?
No, but I saw the Fat Electrician have one, and it's glorious, and I want to do it.
God, love it.
He literally made like a regular hat, or took a hat and put tinfoil around it, and he puts it on when he's talking about some shit that's conspiracy.
Oh, you're talking about Angry Cops?
No. The Fat Electrician.
Oh,
We were mutuals on TikTok too. Gone now.
Make another
he got
TikTok.
No. I'm saying me and him were mutuals.
Oh, okay.
I still think you should make another TikTok.
I'm working on it right now. It's just not working.
It's not letting you?
I made a whole new email and it's just not sending me the code to remake an account right now. It's being weird.
It's being
You made a
TikTok.
whole new email?
Huh?
You made a whole new email
Yeah.
just for this?
You have to. You can't use the same email.
Because that email is the email that they told him he had is linked to the account. Because, you know, for some reason, TikTok is like, here's your email address. Thanks. I didn't know that.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for telling me what I already know. Oh, that's my name too. Okay.
I'll figure it out later.
So why don't you tell the audience what the rest of your socials are, other than the lack of TikTok?
Yeah. So Twitch and YouTube are both OutofRegs Gaming. And then
Yep.
I've also got my Instagram, which is where I'm posting all of my short form content now.
What you should really do is YouTube Shorts.
Oh, I know. You tell me every time I bring it up.
I'm just saying it's
with a
better.
Z.
No, I believe you.
And the discovery will also help your regular YouTube.
But the Instagram is OutofRegs PC, which stood for podcast back in the day when we first started this, way back in the day.
Sounds like a name change should be coming in the future for you.
I don't even know how to change the name on Instagram.
That's not you. I'm
settings.
trying to find you.
What about Twitter?
Is it all one word? OutofRegs Gaming
No, I don't. Yeah, all one word.
with a Z.
No, with an S.
First thing that comes up is with a Z.
It's because of the pomade type stuff.
There
The
you
hair
are. I gotta ask, what is the photo there? Did you just draw that?
No, I actually had a viewer drew it and sent it to me on Instagram a long time ago. And well, he asked me, he was like, "Hey, can I draw like a little thing?" He's like, "I like to do little doodles." I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" And
Yeah.
he sent it to me, and I was like, "This is badass. I love it." So I just kind of made it all my profile pictures.
The Hot Ones challenge.
That was recent.
Yeah, that was a couple days ago.
What
That
did you
shit
do?
hurt. We just sat there, ate.
Oh, you
hot
ate.
wings,
You
and
you
we did,
basically
like,
just.
we did a spoof. So we bought this season's hot ones, like hot sauces, and we lined them up and ate and tried all of them. And we did like a spoof of the hot ones. And me and my buddy were asking each other questions, but it was shit like it was like stuff you would ask in like a smoke pit. Ironically, the name of this podcast, but like, you know, would you rather lose both your arms or both your legs, or like a couple? I think we had a fuck, marry, kill in there. Like,
How much
just
money would it
asking
take for you to
dumb
suck a dick to completion?
yeah, no, one of them was actually, would you rather suck a dick for 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes, or the last 5 seconds?
Ooh.
I went with first 5 minutes just because it's less mess. I don't have to deal with the completion portion.
There's always my
Because
favorite.
either way, you're sucking a dick.
My favorite. Would you rather? Would you? It was.
One dick 10 times, or 10
Would you
dicks?
rather? Would you rather? It's like, would you rather fuck your mom or let your dad fuck you, or something like that?
No, it was if you were in between your parents, your mom and your dad, mom's in front of you, dad's behind you, you going forward or backward?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
I had someone ask me to ask that, and I was like, nope, my parents watch a lot of my I'm not asking that question.
There's a would you rather like Cards Against Humanity type game I was playing with my parents, And
Every time I think of Cards Against Humanity, I just think of Nelson now.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Just
Nelson.
impersonating his girl.
That was fucking funny. That was like my second date with my wife. Had her over and we were playing Cards Against Humanity and stuff, and that's when she fell in love with me because she thought I was funny. I'm a fun guy. What can I say?
Guy.
All right,
She's probably staring at him, just shaking her head.
Let's wrap this up, gentlemen. I gotta poop and I gotta eat dinner. My wife made venison.
Yeah, we appreciate you having
Yeah,
us on.
dude. Yeah, Blake, man, it was awesome having you. Glad to have you on here. I gotta get you on
Appreciate that.
on the other podcast. Put you through absolute fucking hell on that one.
Yeah, do you like corn? Do
Do I like what?
you like corn?
Corn?
Corn.
Yeah.
Like actual corn?
Yeah,
like
Or
actual
corn on a cob. You like it?
I guess.
I'm about to
Well,
change
you
your
won't for
fucking.
long.
I'm about to change your life.
You won't for long.
I'm scared.
You should.
You know
should be.
those group texts that you have with your buddies from the military, and they're often filled with very horrible and questionable things from the internet.
Absolutely.
That's my podcast. That's what I do to people.
Let's do it. I can't wait.
But yeah, I want to have you on here again. I want to get
Hell yeah.
I want to get other people on. We're trying to get Rocco Vargas.
Don't.
You don't know Rocco? You watched the show
Rocco.
Rocco.
Fuck. That sounds familiar.
He was with Article 15
Yes, I know
with
Rocco.
Matt Best and them.
Yes, I know Rocco. I fucking love Rocco.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny as shit.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get Donnie on.
We're trying to get Donnie on. We're trying to get Rocco on. Someone said to try to get Jocko on or
We should get
David
Angry Cops.
Goggins. Huh?
We should try to get Angry Cops.
Oh, Angry Cops? That would be a good one too.
Mm.
Fucking go
Hey.
drill sergeant. Drill sergeant.
I'm just happy to be the first, you know?
Yeah, you're the
It's probably
first.
A lot easier to get a hold of me, but hey, I'm just glad to be the first.
I'm just happy to be here. I'm
happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
happy to be here. All right, man. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Smoke Pit. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Go hang out at Blake's streams. Go follow all of the socials. We'll put it in the bio or in the description. So, yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to everybody.
Like the video.
And, yeah, have a good one, guys.
Don't disconnect yet.
Don't disconnect yet.
Yeah, well, him.
Oh, yeah, don't disconnect
I'm
yet.
telling you.
All right, bye, everybody.